Today's show is brought to you by Lovable.
Here we go.
We've been watching world number 1 and world number 2 play blindfold chess today, and now they have to get ready for even more because it's time for Game Week 8 of Title Tuesday.
Looks like Farouche is almost getting it done on the board. Should still be a draw. He's losing now suddenly.
He's throwing a thorn into the white side, holding on here for dear life. The nerves are kicking in.
He's playing with Ghost, afraid to commit.
Did he lose on time?
The clock is his worst enemy right now.
Oh, look at this. He's trapped his own king in the corner. The black rook is hit as well.
Whoa, is this a blunder?
Checkmate is coming.
Welcome to our viewers at home. We've already been sitting in this studio for a couple of hours, honestly, David. You've been watching this blindfold match between Magnus and Hikaru, and earlier this week you were also commenting on the freestyle chess qualifiers. Do you do anything else than watch professional chess?
What can I say? I'm an addict. I'm literally locked up here in the office. They don't let me out unless I'm commentating chess. So today's going to be fun. It's already been a lot of action so far.
And also with us in the studio today, we have Jon Christian, who is the CEO of Offerspill, the club that Magnus founded in 2019. And you have been the captain of that team, but you're also a chess player yourself.
Yeah, that's right. I have the lowest title in chess, which is a candidate master. It's still a chess player, but I'm going to rely on David for the expert commentary today. But yeah, I've worked with chess for quite some time. Working with Offerspill, being the captain for the Olympic Norwegian Olympic team, for the being an arbiter as well. Hosting tournaments and stuff, so I've been in the chess world for quite some time.
And Offerspill, they won the Eliteserie, which is the Norwegian League chess. And you were the captain, but you were also playing yourself.
Yeah, I was playing on the lowest board a couple of times with okay results, let's say. So I've been participating as well, and hopefully I will be able to come up with something today also.
And you do have a title, and the point of Title Tuesday is that anyone with a title can join. Are you considering joining now that they've redone the format a little bit and it's 5-minute chess, no increment?
Yeah, I am able to play, but I haven't done so far because I don't know. I'm a bit afraid, perhaps, of not doing so great. I wouldn't be expected to do so either. But way back when I was young, I used to love the 5-0 format. So hopefully I can do something someday.
And David, you also haven't had time to participate in Title Tuesday because you've always been sitting here.
I know, one day.
When will we see you?
1 week. Maybe. If Magnus and Hikaru aren't playing, I'll try. Then I have better chances.
Try to get the win.
Exactly. One day.
Exactly. Well, anyways, we are getting ready for Title Tuesday, but we've already been in the studio for a couple of hours already. And what we were watching was this event held in Barcelona, where it was Hikaru Nakamura, number 2 in the world, against Magnus Carlsen, number 1 in the world, playing blindfold chess. And it was a pretty exciting game, David, where they both had 15 minutes on the clock, but they couldn't see the board.
Exactly. The game itself was pretty spectacular. Some short fireworks fizzling out towards a draw, even though Hikaru had some good chances in the final position. But yeah, it was a rather unique event. There were some chats, some question and answer sessions, a lot of waiting around. We were just hosting the watch party here. We had nothing to do with the organization, but it seemed like the players, they warmed up perfectly for Title Tuesday now.
And it was interesting how they couldn't see the clocks during the game. So Magnus, he spent quite a lot of time, and he made us a little bit nervous on his behalf. It would have been interesting to see like a real time scramble with blindfold chess. Have you played any blindfold chess, Jon Christian?
Well, I have tried it for sure, but I find it really difficult. I can play a game, but the quality of the game is going to be really poor compared to me seeing the board. So I'm wondering if these players are actually tired after doing a blindfold game, because you need to think a bit differently and visualize differently than you do when you are able to see the board. So
yeah.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think they probably are, because they also were doing some interviews, some fireside chats. Like, it was an event for a sponsor, and it seemed like they had to meet some fans, sign some autographs, and that was just 2 hours ago. Will they even have time to play right now?
I've heard that Magnus is ready to play Title Tuesday. I've heard that Hikaru will be trying as well. I'm hopeful, but as you said, like, it's very tiring stuff. I don't think it's Magnus's favorite format. I even know grandmasters who struggle with blindfold chess, like even to struggle how to kind of hold the position in their head. So I think it's very much dependent on the player themselves and how the mind works. But hopefully they can reset for this fast and ferocious format we're about to see.
Yeah, and it's also interesting that last week, neither Magnus or Hikaru were able to be in the top 10 in the Title Tuesday tournament, which means that none of them got any points for the standings. Mm-hmm. And that is what they're kind of playing here for when they're playing every single week. They really want these points, and we see that Duda has almost caught up to Magnus. He's in second place there, and we see Hikaru. He is actually number 6 here in the split 2 standings, Jon Christian.
Okay, so how many of these players are actually qualifying for the World Esports Championship?
We can take a look at the Champions Chess Tour standings, because here we can see that in the first place we have Magnus, but he's already qualified because he won last year's event. So the people who are qualified from Title Tuesday right now is number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And we do see that Hikaru, who is doing very well there because he performed so well in the first split. But for example, Vincent Keimer and Maxime Vachier-Lagrave, like some of these players, they're very close, and a small performance or a good performance in one of these tournaments can really affect the standings, David.
Yeah, we have seen it throughout the first few weeks of 2026. Nearly all of the top players in the world have been competing in Title Tuesday. Last week, we had all of the top 5 in the world. That's why it was such a packed field. That's why Magnus and Hikaru might have struggled. But at this point, every week matters. Every result matters. And I'm expecting more of the same, to see that fight for the qualification spots just hotting up.
But to also answer your question, Jon Christian, there are other ways to qualify for the Esports World Cup as well. And we can see that you can either do it through Title Tuesday, or you can do it through the Speed Chess Championship, which will be held, the finals, the semifinals and the finals is going to be the 7th and 8th of October. So that's not very long until. Top 3 there go to the Esports World Cup. And also the top 3 in the Chess.com Global Championship, which is in the end of April. All of these 12 players are going to be in the Esports World Cup. And the only one we know so far for sure, that's Magnus, who is the reigning champion. And did you see these images from last year's event, Jon Christian, with the fireworks and Magnus on the stage when he won?
Oh, yeah, I did. And I followed the event. It looked really, really spectacular. And I have to say it was a very nice event to follow, very entertaining, to say the least. So I hope it will be an equally exciting event this year.
And it's also kind of interesting that this was the first tournament where they had this 5-minute and no increment type of play, which really proved that chess kind of belonged in the esports world, because you had to be quick and precise, and it had to be played over a computer, because in the final moments, you can't really do this over a board. And it was a very tense game here in one of the semifinals. But that is the goal of all of the players that have signed up so far. They want to qualify for the Esports World Cup. And we can take a look and see that Hikaru, Wesley, and Caruana, some of the best players in the world, and all American as well, have already signed up when there is 5 minutes left. And what I'm trying to see is there anybody who's playing in the Tata Steel Wijk aan Zee tournament, if anyone there has signed up so far? Can you see any, David?
Ooh, not yet. Some of those games, most of those games are still ongoing. And yeah, unless they finish soon, it did look like Hans Niemann was about to win. Maybe he'll win that late join Title Tuesday and still give us a show. But for now, in terms of the country standings, it looks fantastic for the US.
And because we are mentioning Wijk aan Zee, that is because a lot of the chess world is centered right there, right now, because of the ongoing classical chess tournament, the Wimbledon of chess, where we see Vincent Keimer, Anish Giri, Eric Gaisi, Gukesh, and Niemann. They're all playing there. They're playing classical chess, so they have to kind of finish on time with that if they are to join the Title Tuesday. And then, of course, we see Levy, Magnus, and Hikaru are all in Barcelona for this blindfold chess event that we watched earlier today. So it will be very interesting to see if any of the Wijk aan Zee people are going to join, because going from classical chess to speed chess online, that's a big change.
It's a tough transition, but also maybe a bit liberating. Tomorrow is a rest day, I believe, in Wijk aan Zee. So if they do finish, they will be in time. And for Prag, who struggled in Wijk aan Zee, for Gukesh, who's yet to score that first win, yeah, a lot going on in the chess world right now.
Yeah, and Hans had a pretty good start. He won his first game against Fedoseev in like 16 moves, I believe it was. And of course, Faustino, he's playing in the challengers section. He was also leading that earlier. So Sindarov also has had a pretty good start. And some of these players are also going to be playing in the candidates tournament soon. So it's kind of like an interesting tournament to follow when you think about the fact that they have to prepare for the candidates, but they're playing in a classical chess tournament. How much of their prep are they going to reveal? What do you think, Jon Christian?
Yeah, I was thinking about the same thing, looking at Giri, who has not had so good results so far. I was wondering if he was trying to not show his preparation for the candidates, or if he's under some pressure. I'm not sure, but one would think that they don't want to play their secret openings, let's say, that they have prepared for the candidates. So maybe that's part of his issue in the Wijk aan Zee tournament.
Yeah, and Prague as well. He has he lost his first 2 games.
That's right. 0 out of 2.
What do you think is going through his mind right now, David?
I think it's more of the same, not just hiding openings, but also you want to peak at the right time. If you peak now, there's this pressure for the next 2 months, and maybe everyone will expect you to win the candidate suddenly. There has been a pattern throughout chess history of players performing below par just before the big events because they save it for that. So we'll see. I think Bluebaum, out of all of the candidates, he's maybe had the best start in Vikings, having beaten Vincent Keimer yesterday.
And I haven't seen any of the bike players sign up just yet, but there's only 2.5 minutes left, and Magnus also, he needs to find a computer and sit down, but it will be exciting anyways, because you don't want to miss out. From the moment the tournament starts, you only have 5 minutes and no increment, and there's 11 rounds, so it's a really quick and rapid kind of tournament, and this time control, Jon Christian, it's pretty tricky.
Yeah, it has to be emphasized that this 5+0 is a really brutal time control, honestly. When you have 0 increments, then time is such a big factor. You will lose on time, and probably today we're going to see some dirty flagging like we've seen Magnus do in the past, where even though the position is objectively a draw, you just make moves until your opponent loses on time. And well, you could say it's a dirty way of winning the game, but then again, this is part of the game, part of the time control, and I think it's a valid way to win. So yeah, time is a big factor in this tournament.
And I'm very happy now to see that Magnus has signed up on time with a minute left, and that means that we're only 1 minute away from the action-packed kickoff. So let's get ready for Game Week 8.
He should try and get this game drawn here and now, but he's blundered. He's allowed the black pieces to come in. Magnus's king was too far away.
That was completely and utterly unnecessary.
Hikaru keeps having to check the white king, and there's a big blunder from Deak. There were better moves there.
Tough game. Probably got a little bit lucky. I mean, I definitely got lucky. I was cooked out of the opening, right?
Now he's down to less than 10 seconds, and Magnus, for the first time, actually has a better position now in the entire game.
Imagine that. He was down a pawn for nothing. Now he's got a bishop and 3 pawns for a rook, and Liam Lei runs out of time. Mistake from Magnus. Now much better for black. Abdusattorov leaning back and gets the win.
Okay, I was outclassed in that game.
Magnus saying that he was outclassed in the final game against Abdusattorov, where Magnus didn't even finish in the top 10, which is very rare for him. He's won Title Tuesday so many times, so he's probably eager to avenge himself for that. And now there's only 10 seconds. We have just passed 300 titled players who have signed up, so it's going to be very interesting to see now when we get the first round's pairings. I always feel like I'm so jealous of these players that are not in the top of the world, but they get to play against Magnus, against Hikaru, against Wesley. It's such an honor to be able to play against them in a tournament that's so rare for chess.
Exactly. And round 1, you tend to see the likes of Magnus, Hikaru up against FMs, maybe some CMs. This time, Hikaru's up against one of the goats of tennis, Roger Federer.
Wow. And we can see that there's a big difference in the ratings when we see Magnus here with 3,231 against another candidate master, Jon Christian. Who wants to guess what flag that is?
Venezuela.
Yeah, I was also going to say Venezuela, but I'm not sure.
Colombia.
Colombia I was about to say, but I'm not sure.
Either way, Magnus, the big favorite in this first game, and he is streaming, as we can see. So let's hear a little bit what he's saying.
That Peter, my current golf and chess coach, told let me know almost 22 years ago when he played the move, also in Spain in the Spanish league.
Okay, so Magnus explaining his opening choice here, David.
Yeah, and it looks counterintuitive, allowing bishop to hitting the rook earlier. But now, I think this is theoretical stuff, as Magnus says. After a trade of knight, the argument for Magnus is that this pawn is a bit of a target. If it ever advances, there would have been a block there. And, okay, we're seeing just a quick, easy development for both sides, and Magnus's opponent appears. This could be you, Jon Christian, CM, against the world number 1.
But it's Alan, so not today.
Everyone loves Alan.
Yeah. I think white is spending a little bit much time already, or at least on the few opening moves. But he's sped up, which is nice.
This is a 15-year-old candidate master from Venezuela. That was the correct flag, so good job there. But yeah, just 15 years old. It's always a little bit scary to play against children, I feel like.
Yeah, especially when they're frozen on camera like that in such a concentrated pose. And okay, pawn sacrifice from Alan. Allowing an exchange, and d2 was hanging, so black has won a pawn. No immediate consequences. The black knight holds everything together.
Rook d1, rook d7, getting a lot of activity, perhaps.
That looks very natural. It's your style, Jon Christian, to sacrifice pawns and to go for the opponent.
Well, when you're already 1 pawn down, why not 2 pawns? It's like go for the activity and try and create something. Maybe c3.
c3 also saving a pawn, stopping the black knight coming in would make a lot of sense. He drops his bishop back. That feels wrong, feels passive.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, when you sacrifice the pawn, as you said, like retreat moves tend to not work out well.
For that was just ultimately a skill issue.
Ooh.
So here, I would say I've definitely equalized, and I'm a little bit better already. I think he has to make a move like bishop e2 here. Seems to me that if he plays h3, I can take, and then...
Oh, it sounds like maybe Magnus is talking about something that's already happened. But he was at least saying that he thinks his position he was equalized, and that seems pretty happy with his situation. And he has a small time advantage already, which, as we've been mentioning, when they don't have the increment, having extra time is worth a lot.
Yeah, it strikes me how Magnus is very good at this time format by playing quickly and not always perfectly, but good enough, let's say, but always quite quick, which is a huge strength in doing well in this tournament.
And he seems to be in a good mood.
Yeah, he's very happy. I think he's just relieved to have escaped against Hikaru with the draw earlier in the blindfold chess. He's glad he can actually see the board this time. But there are tricks in the air. That was a bit of a blunder from Alan. Unfortunately, the white rook would be hanging if the black knight was taken there. So we'll see an exchange, and Magnus has won a pawn again. He's back to a material advantage, but still some hard work to be done here. White is very, very active.
Yeah, it's a pawn up, but it's not so easy either way. I mean, the white rook is coming into the 7th rank and being very active, but I think Magnus is really strong at converting good positions. Like if he has small advantage, and as we can see he's 1 minute up on time, then I will give him the odds of winning this. Yeah, they're really, really high.
Yeah. And especially because he can just keep the game going as long as possible. Oh, the second pawn drops, so maybe the game won't go on that long. I was going to say, if the queenside pawns disappear, those A and B pawns, if it's just on one flank, the knight is better than the bishop anyway. But why stop at a 1 pawn advantage when you can get 2? Knight forks are so tricky, especially on these back ranks.
Yeah, this is virtually resignable. I mean, with 2 pawns up in a rook game like this, it's just a forced a win for black. So technical win, perhaps.
Yeah.
Especially when it's Magnus handling the black pieces here.
And especially when the clock isn't going to be an issue. Magnus has so much time. If he had 20, 30 seconds left, we would be worried. But now he has enough time, and a lot more time than his young 15-year-old opponent. But it must be cool to get to play against Magnus on the big stage in the first round.
Exactly. I am a bit surprised by Magnus's last move. He loves pushing pawns, the A and H pawns, to clamp down on the opponent's pawn structures. But he has left it a bit lonely, this pawn, especially while the black rook is tied down defending A7 on the other side. Magnus did look a bit frustrated with himself just there.
So if Magnus goes, rook b3 and then rook g3 and takes the g2 pawn, which is happening now. How is this endgame with 3 pawns against 2? How is it technically winning, or?
Ooh, it feels very promising, especially with the white king totally cut off. But you've got to be a bit careful of stalemate ideas for now.
Yeah.
And Yeah, maybe there's just no way to win either of the white pawns, and at some point black will have to allow the white king back. The white rook is stopping all the black pawns from moving. Magnus has let this slip slightly, that is for sure. The eval bar, the computer says a draw.
Yeah.
It's the best try, but with 2 extra pawns, even though he has an active rook, this shouldn't be.
Yeah, Magnus still talking about an earlier position when he had 2 extra pawns, so he doesn't have them anymore, and now he only has 1 extra pawn. But you can kind of see hear his disappointment in his voice anyway.
So let's say we remove the f4 pawn for white and the e6 pawn for black.
Ooh, he's trying for checkmate. He's going to allow rook takes pawn, and now he'll play e5 to get g5 with a checkmate. But wow, great play by Alan.
So if he takes on f4, then rook g6 is the draw.
Oh my god, Magnus has blundered. Pawn takes pawn on f4. White will give up his rook on g6. That's a beautiful spot, young Christian.
And he's laughing.
And he can't go e4 because of f5,
Incredibly
or?
poor.
Oh my god, he's.
I think this is going to be a draw. That's a very surprising result in game 1.
Wow, miracle for Alan, who's actually up on time now. Magnus.
Yeah, Magnus, be careful.
I don't like, now I'm not even up on time, so how am I even trying to...
f5?
Magnus has got to be careful here.
Yeah.
Okay, he's going to find a way to
how am I
bail
even
out.
trying to flag him? Okay, this was less than ideal.
And I was praising him before about his technique and everything, and now we get this.
Try here, like I'm not remotely better.
Is Magnus trying to lose, or?
Yeah, the white king could start marching up the board.
Placing his pieces on some very suspicious squares, but ultimately I think he's still fine. Okay, if I can get this position with him to move.
Magnus has to speed up.
I can't do that.
Yeah, he's being too perfectionistic as well now. He has 30 seconds left.
Magnus wants the king to go back. He said he wants that position with the rook on g7 with white to move. White would then have to give up his pawn.
That. Oh, wow. Okay.
King e2?
Ooh.
It's a poor pre-move.
He's making progress.
He is really making a mess of this, but it's still a draw by quite a decent margin.
Yeah. White's king is going to be quick enough to get to its pawn. Just in time.
Oh, and look at 15-year-old Alan.
King g4.
Why did he not go king g5 closer to the white pawn?
Where's the window? What is the winning move here?
And Magnus has 12 seconds.
Magnus needs to move.
He also didn't find it.
It's a funny position.
Oh, now he can make a queen.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, this is getting very dangerous.
This is very
Magnus
out of
might
hand.
lose now on time.
Check.
Queen d4, and I cannot play.
Oh,
boy, that should be a bad move.
8 seconds, Magnus. You need to speed up. Oh, he could have won the black queen by bringing his rook back to e6 there.
Oh, no.
Magnus
God.
is winning, but 7 seconds. He needs to keep checking.
He's getting flagged.
Oh, just take that rook.
No,
Alan
I'm
should be
checking
taking
him
black's
now.
rook. Now it's going to be checkmate.
Easy.
Magnus gets it just in time. 2 seconds.
Very easy.
Oh, no.
Poor Alan.
Tragedy.
Oh,
There
look
you
at
go.
Alan.
Oh, no.
Smooth game.
Poor Alan. I don't know if his camera's frozen or if he's just heartbroken.
Oh, God.
I think it's just heartbroken.
Magnus got out of jail there.
That's what you get.
No. Oh, that
That's
was
what you get on
the
the stream.
chance of a lifetime.
Oh, wow.
Look at Magnus just digesting whatever the hell happened.
Gotta be a little bit faster, a little bit stronger.
Too smug, Magnus. Too smug.
And at least Magnus gets this wake-up call now in the first round, because the second one is already starting. That's also about Title Tuesday. Like, they start a new round immediately, and they only both had seconds left, so you don't have any time to kind of digest really what happened there. You have to start playing the next round, and yeah, I'm I'm impressed that we never were able to really guess what was going on in what was going to be the result of that previous game. And let's see how it affect Magnus in the second game here.
Yeah, he was never losing, Magnus, but to let him, to see so many wins slip by, to see so many inaccuracies, to see him so slow, that was very worrying. He's had a long day, blindfold chess, but he's back in action again. And this is a classic e4, e5 opening, but this a3 move has become really trendy in recent times. And the whole idea is to basically play a black opening with white, just with this extra tempo, often stopping the black bishop from developing, which might actually just be a very good move if that pawn were not on a3. Magnus gets the blocked pawn structure he was asking for. Now with a pin on the black knight. His opponent's very strong, though, a grandmaster who once... Oh, wow. That is quite the angle. But Ilyushinok once nearly won the European Championship many, many years ago.
This is one of the strongest opponents Magnus has ever faced in the second round. I mean, is there a very strong field here today? Because usually you get someone slightly easier.
It does feel recent weeks we're only getting the strong players, and this is going to be a topsy-turvy game, judging by the camera. But Magnus has got the bishop pair and retreats. At some point, he'll start playing for a typical pawn break with f4.
Do you guys know what the pairing system here is like? Because I saw on X that Jon Ludvig Hammer was wondering himself because
he incorrectly predicted something about the colors. But David is usually pretty good at this. No offense to Jon Ludvig, but David doesn't get this stuff wrong.
At least I try to hide it when I get it wrong. It is a traditional Swiss system, but I believe rating counts more than color. Predicted colors sequentially. It is tricky. I just think the rating is the reason they keep up floating players when it looks like they should be playing opponents of a level score.
Okay.
It is a bit strange. It's not done, this exact format, in open tournaments, for example, but it's just how chess.com have always done it. And in the meantime, we see a very stable-looking position, and Magnus finally breaks in the center. If there is a trade on this square, his bishop comes to life. Small advantage due to the bishop pair.
And it looks like... how did you say his name again, David?
Ilyushinok.
It looks like he is also streaming. Let's hear if he is saying anything.
Reversed colors.
Oh, that was Magnus, sorry.
Ooh.
No, not talking right
the
now.
The one moment.
Probably talking upside down.
Да, не супер все хорошо. Видимо, потому что играю с Магнусом.
All right. Well, we weren't able to catch much of that, but our viewers seem to enjoy the fact that he's playing upside down at the moment.
Yeah. No, but again, we see that Magnus is up on time by quite a lot, like 1 minute 20 seconds, which is it's really a lot in this format. You can't take too much time thinking about these. Interesting move.
If the pawn is captured on b4, Magnus can grab e5.
Oh.
You can also take on b4 and c7.
Ooh.
Yeah, here I think he has knight takes d3. Bishop takes. Queen takes. Bishop takes c7. Rook dc8.
Oh goodness, this is a long thing that Magnus is talking about. So I feel like the blind chess has warmed him up to thinking in this way where he's just saying all the moves.
So he's going with take.
Exactly.
Yeah.
On brand.
On brand, exactly.
Magnus knows, and I like this option. You mentioned it, Jon Christian, keeping things nice and simple, creating threats. There's a nasty skewer along this line, threatened. Black's pieces are really, really loose. The pawn in the center is hanging. I'm really surprised that the evaluation bar says level, because it looks anything but level to me, but it must be based on the fact that Black can grab this pawn and live to tell the tale. The queen can always protect the knight, or here and now, the Black queen will counterattack against the White queen to save itself. I like the fact he chose this square, keeping the other one available for his knight. We've seen blindfold chess, now we're seeing upside down chess, and Magnus, he's not been at his best.
No, it was a really shaky start in the first game. Looks like it's going better this game so far. It strikes me that the position from before, even though it was really it was equal by the evaluation. The position is by no means a draw.
Yeah.
It's like we get a lot of this position where the evaluation is 0.0. It should be equal, but there's so much play in the position. What? This is no.
Ooh, it's fine, but he is giving a second pawn.
Yeah.
The knight protected by the
Magnus
bishop.
could be up by 3 pawns.
2
That's
for now, but maybe more coming.
2, yeah.
Everything's protected.
Yeah, and Magnus also has 1.5 extra minute on his clock.
That's worth a pawn. So it's
Yeah.
3
Yeah.
pawns. That's why it's 3 pawns.
That's how I calculated.
Knight c6 incoming probably, followed by d4. Yeah, this is looking very comfortable for Magnus.
But last time you said that, Jon Christian, it turned out a lot more exciting and equal than we were able to imagine.
Yeah, maybe I'm not going to try and jinx it this time around. Bishop h5, interesting move.
Yeah, some ideas of sacrificing since the black bishop is kind of tied down protecting his knight as well as that pawn. Maybe some mating attacks based on a rook takes bishop sacrifice later. But for now, there is a threat from black's knight. I'm expecting Magnus to go back and defend his pawn.
Yeah, we could go to a7 as well, just trying to take on f7.
That's why we need you in the studio with us, Jon Christian. I look at the passive defensive moves, you look at the aggressive moves. He was hitting here. He's still going to win that pawn. There we go, with a nice tactic, a check. Will drive the king away from the defense of the bishop. And again, he's up 2 pawns in a rook endgame, just like last time.
Okay, but now the evaluation bar says it's massively better. This was a better evaluation than the first one, and Magnus has way more time. Shouldn't be possible, but he's laughing. What is he saying?
2 extra pawns that I completely messed up. This,
Yeah.
Let's not say anything. Okay, he resigned. He didn't see my last game. Otherwise, I don't think he would have resigned here. Seeing how
Yeah, Magnus was aware of the fact that it was a similar situation, but his opponent was not. And Magnus takes the win, and Lazovic as well, who's also playing in the Speed Chess Championship semi-final and perhaps final in the beginning of February. He's also qualified for that. He also has already secured 2 points. Any of the other favorites, any other results you're reacting to here, David?
Yeah, it looks like Hikaru is about to win. We see on the bar there, but actually earlier in the game, he was in huge trouble. We saw a bit of a blunder by his opponent. It does look like all the favorites winning, apart from Duda. We see just there, Duda losing with white against Gelman. Sounds like a superhero.
And we can watch the end of the Hikaru game, where he is currently has a queen in place of a bishop and a rook, his opponent having that. So should be better for Hikaru, but very few pawns left on the board.
Yeah, interesting. It looked like Hikaru blundered. If the bishop was taken by the white queen, the rook would have not been defended any longer, but he's just doing this to get more pieces off the board. It looks like a rook trade is almost guaranteed now. And yeah, it's not about the quantity here, it's about the quality. White's e-pawn will be running up the board in the near future, especially with one set of rooks off the board. 16 seconds just compounds the misery here. It looks like Yeremyan is going to have to resign very shortly. Pawn continues marching. If the king sticks its head out, white's queen can grab a pawn, and then the bishop, and there we see resignation. Hikaru gets the job done, but again, just like Magnus, maybe not quite yet at his best.
Oh, both of them a little bit tired after a long day of chess and a bit of waiting on their parts, perhaps. But it's fun to see that they were able to prioritize playing this as well, even though that leads to a bit of a packed schedule. And here we see Alexander Grishuk, I guess, who is in a bit of a difficult situation according to the evaluation bar.
Ooh.
But not necessarily if you just count the pieces.
Yeah, now it's back to level material. He was a pawn down when we joined, and there's always going to be a lot of life left in these. Opposite color bishop endgames, you can play forever, even if it's just pure bishops against each other with a couple of pawns left. So the clock situation is going to decide this. He blocks all the checks. He's going to save his pawns. White's rook was a bit stuck. The black bishop holding everything together. This is going to be decided on the clock, surely.
Oh yeah, tricky stuff.
Yeah.
And Magnus was able to flag Grishuk last time they played in the final round when Magnus was playing from Stockholm. And then Grishuk was not very good with the very few seconds left on the clock, but now he's playing against an opponent with only 5 seconds, so he should be able to win this.
4 seconds, the clock is very red, and there we go. It was a bit of a blunder. The white king is in some trouble. The white pieces will struggle to prevent the G-pawn from promoting. Here we see the white pieces just cut off, and eventually the clock does tell. Matignan loses on time.
So Grishuk as well climbs to 2 points. And in the final game we see remaining, we have Pranav, who is, of course, a favorite in his game. Magnus actually lost to Pranav the other day, and Magnus posted it to the app, the Take app, which we actually have a QR code for at the bottom of the screen here. And I thought that was kind of fun to just see him play, like in the middle of the night, one game against Pranav, lose, and then apparently go back to sleep. So
maybe the baby woke up and he needed to change some diapers. It's nice to see him play some games. And Pranav, I'm just going to say, it's 2 seconds versus 2 seconds on that board, so it's not about the position at all. It's rook and pawn versus rook. Classic flagging, as you mentioned earlier, Jon Christian.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Pranav got the win on time.
Okay.
Round 3.
Round 3. And here we see that the best guys, they're still playing against players on the lower half. So they're not necessarily playing against each other just yet. It takes a couple of rounds to get there. But here we're going to watch Hikaru play against another American opponent who apparently also is a Grandmaster.
Yeah, and it's the modern defense where Hikaru just lets white have the pawn center and will likely start expanding in the near future with black on the queen side. Just allowing all of the advances. Interesting to see him play h6 and only h5 after white pushed the pawn to f4, meaning that the black knight might later have some squares to jump to, or if white advances, it might come the other way. I've actually played Quesada Perez back when he used to represent Cuba. I played him at the Olympiad. Very strong grandmaster, likes his positional chess, doesn't really like to go all-out attack. And okay, I say positional chess, and then he allowed Hikaru to double his pawns. So maybe he's changed. But Hikaru tends to like these positions where he's a bit cramped, but has some long-term advantages.
D4.
Yeah, classic Hikaru way of playing. He's very good at being behind on development, but having some long-term advantages. I feel like in this type of position, you need to be very precise with white in order to get an actual attack. So I'm not sure if white is playing correctly here, but yeah, if Hikaru is able to put all these pieces where he wants to, he will be massively better because of these doubled F pawns that white has.
Let's see if Hikaru has any thoughts on his game.
E6, I suppose.
E6 looks very natural to defend the knight. At some point, the black queen might come out somewhere in this diagonal. Probably the one thing he won't do, therefore he delays, is castle on the king side, because there would have been a capture and an opening of a line towards the black king. So he's delaying any decision making here.
And we can see from Hikaru's expressions that he's not very happy. Although we can't hear him just yet. But he seemed kind of... Oh,
Queen D7's also move. E6, take 6, EF5 should be fine. Yeah, let's just go E6. If he takes, I just take Rook G8 or Queen D7.
Can he take on E6 now?
Queen
take
D7?
on E6 and G6?
Oh, yeah. Let's go.
Wait, is this okay or did I blunder? Take 6, Rook G6, King F7 maybe? G1, Bishop F8 should be fine.
Looks dangerous to me.
Hikaru says it should be fine, but the evaluation bar says much better now for Quesada.
There's a crazy move that the computer points out. White's best move, apparently, to get a big advantage is to play D5.
Oh, wow. Impossible to find.
Impossible. That square is covered literally 4 times. Pawn, knight, queen. And there are some crazy tactics.
How is that the move? That's so non-human move. You will never find this. Even in a classical game, I don't think...
no chance.
I don't know.
Never.
Maybe some player would find it, but that would be so rare.
They'll get kicked out of the tournament if they play a move like D5.
And Hikaru certainly hasn't seen it.
Yeah, the idea is to get the bishop to C5 in some variations, open things up. If the queen takes, then there are some tactics by pushing c4.
Yeah.
But he spends a lot of time now, which indicates that he is he senses something. But yeah, probably it's not d5. It's like this move is not on your radar whatsoever.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the way that Hikaru's kind of singing and saying yeah, like he is not.
I think I'm okay here.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Hikaru. He obviously can't hear us, but...
Okay, goes king b1. That's a move I'm happy to see, because that means he couldn't find anything, so now I can just, like, play normal chess. Like queen d7.
All right, so it seems like he survived that impossible-to-find computer move, and Hikaru has a bit of a lead on the clock now as well. A minute extra.
Yeah, now the difference is that the king is safe. Black's king is going to be very happy on this side of the board. No white pieces on that side to attack. He's trying to get it round, though. Quesada Perez here. But everything on the light squares for Hikaru. The pawns, the knights, the one especially on f5 on an outpost. He should be pretty content, especially with a 1.5 minute time advantage. At some point, white's got to attack. White's got to go c4, maybe then d5, or maybe just bring the knight. Quesada Perez, he's just playing too slow.
Yeah, he has to speed up if he has any if he wants to win this game. So
yep.
Okay, he's trying to trade pieces here, trying to simplify. But now any endgames are going to be very promising for black due to white's weak pawn structure. Let's see if Hikaru is still singing.
Work the pawn on f4.
Yeah.
Let's go here, work the file. Logical. I can always go f6 somewhere. It's just a question of when. If I go f6, c4, I don't like that.
There's this square on e5 though, with the knight or even the rook maybe.
Jumps in with the knight. Will Hikaru try and trade off that knight with his bishop? His own knight isn't fully stable. White is going to advance sooner or later.
Yeah, and you could hear that was something he was a little bit annoyed about. He didn't want to put his pawn on f6 because he wants to maybe put his knight there later.
Yeah, this is not super clear.
No. Look at him.
f6 is always a move. I don't really want to play it. I don't really want to play b5 either. But I think I'm going to play b5 here.
He had to stop this knight from being chased away. And the evaluation now does say that Hikaru is doing better, but he doesn't seem as confident as he did a couple moves ago.
Exactly. He knows that long-term he's doing well. White's bishop is just terrible. Really, really bad piece. And long-term, black has the light squared bind, but no immediate way forward, no plan immediately comes to mind. Time advantage has disappeared a little bit.
A little bit. But still quite relevant, I would say. Like 40 seconds here. I mean, 40 seconds, it's not a lot in the beginning of the game, but at this stage, it's a big factor.
Yeah.
Especially when it's really positional, no obvious, direct tactical moves. Yeah, often making those small improvements, just waiting is the hardest thing to do in chess with no time. And it's now a 1 minute advantage. Drops his knight back. It's a bit passive.
Trying to trade off some of the rooks, maybe.
Ooh, suddenly white maybe a little bit better. According to the eval bar before all those trades.
Yeah, maybe it's not so easy. You still have the e5 square for the knight. If he takes, then suddenly the pawn structure is a lot better. The bishop will maybe get the square long term. Yeah, but time is still a factor. Like Hikaru has double the time, so.
Oh, key move from Hikaru. He's going to make the bishop bad again, and then he's going to create an outside pass pawn. The white queen can easily be blocked.
Well,
I missed this, of course.
Still good for Hikaru.
Okay, I have to take. I completely bungled this. I have to go here on queen g2. I also blunder queen e8 now, but maybe king b7 is fine.
Oh, there was a check. He needed to go for that check, the white queen.
Here?
No, he's too passive.
Is this so clear? Interesting. Yeah, so
I think I'm still going to win this game.
Pawn falls, and then the f-pawn, black's f-pawn is just going to be too strong, right?
Ooh, that's a weird move, bringing the king out into the open. Well, it's going to get checked. And Hikaru's king is going to be quite safe, advancing up to b6 if it needs to, if it gets checked. Oh, and that's a blunder, a checkmate blunder. There's going to be a mate on the edge of the board. Quesada Perez self-destructs.
That's just ridiculous. King a3, queen a4 is just checkmate. I mean, maybe I was always
chess is
better.
really hard.
Hikaru is always quite brutal. I mean, his opponent was really hanging in there for this game for a long time, and then if you miss a mate, and here there's only seconds remaining. Denis Lazovic has lots of time and a winning position.
No stalemates here, not today. Denis Lazovic gets the win, about to grab the last black pawn. And one of the favorites. He moves on. It looks like Magnus also got the job done. And the favorites all still up there. Wesley So also winning. And Nihal Sarin winning, Jeffrey Zhong, Sevian, everything going according to rating this round, it seems. Although Eric Rosen against Salem looks like he might be springing an upset. A very popular streamer.
Yeah.
Oh, and let's look at the final seconds of this game because they both have less than a minute left. And it is Eric Rosen who has the advantage according to the computer. He has a bishop and a knight in trade for a rook.
Mouse slip.
Aye.
I think he wanted to play rook c4 and give up his rook, but there we go. He dropped it. What a way to lose a game. Wow. Great result for Eric Rosen, though.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic to see.
He's at a perfect 3 out of 3. So that must be very motivating. And we also see Sarana, who's also usually doing very well in Title Tuesday. He is probably going to win his game. And there's a lot of big names playing today.
Yeah, Alexander Grishuk in big trouble, though. And he's trying to flag his opponent. Ever since he got flagged by Magnus, it feels like Grishuk's trying to get revenge by beating his opponents on the clock. His opponent has 6 seconds here with black, but has, 3 extra pawns? Oh, Grishuk, 8 seconds versus 6 against his young compatriot. Look at that black king. Oh, no. Grishuk's back in it. About to deliver mate. Nope. What a turnaround. 2 seconds. Oh, wow. Who's quicker? Oh, black's got a new queen, but Alexander Grishuk, 1 second. He's got to do it, surely. He gets mated. One move to mate, and Alexander Grishuk loses.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, brutal.
That was mental. Like, white was winning, black was winning. Both sides were mating each other.
And if you thought that was brutal, now he immediately is going to see a new game pop up on his screen. He doesn't even have time to slam the table because he's going to get thrown into another round of this ruthless blitz chess with no increment. It's painful to watch.
We talk about age, but that's a generational thing. Like, Grishuk was just a bit too slow on the mouse. Nothing else to be said about that. He should have been flagging his opponent 13 seconds against 6 when we jumped in. But he ended up losing on time.
Yeah, talking about esports, I think chess has, or this type of format of chess has to be one of the most of the games where you have to have the best mouse.
Yeah.
I think those who have the mouse skills will have a massive advantage in flagging.
And one of those players who is very good at that and who has qualified for the semifinals and finals of the Speed Chess Championship is Denis Lazovic, who is very, very good in the time scrambles. And now he's playing against Pranav. So who do we have as the favorite here?
Well, first of all, what a picture from Pranav.
His profile picture.
That's Ghost Rider, yeah?
Yeah, I believe there's 2 Pranavs. This is Pranav Anand.
Okay.
So the second best Pranav, the second best Anand in the world.
Oh.
No, I'm joking. He's just very strong. But is that Knight Rider? Is that
Ghost Rider?
Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Of course, Ghost Rider.
Nicolas Cage, right?
Exactly, Nicolas Cage. That's what I remember. I just couldn't remember the name of the superhero.
Such a bad movie, but still.
Okay, talking of bad movies, it's 2 knights versus 2 bishops. Which do we prefer here?
Well, it's very on brand for Lazovic to have the bishops at least. I feel like he loves his bishop pair and positional play, but I don't know. To me, just looking at the position, maybe fairly equal, but I see the evaluation saying that black should be better, probably because of the bishop pair long term.
Yeah, it feels like neither kind of sets of minor pieces are great right now, but maybe there's just this light squared bishop with some pressure is the one that sets things apart.
Yeah, the knights are not doing so much is the problem, I think. If you had some sort of kingside attack or could put them on better squares, then probably white would be doing okay, but these knights are not doing anything right now.
Yeah, and that's why Denis Lazovic has an advantage according to the evaluation bar. Still level on time, This is going to be a very close match. Knights tend to be trickier, though, in time scrambles. Like, if it comes down to a flagging race, as we've seen multiple times already today, Pranav, maybe his chances would increase.
Yeah, I still have very clearly in mind the game from the World Blitz Championship where Magnus beat Abdusattorov in the final with the knight versus knight and 4 pawns. And I mean,
crazy.
like, knights are so tricky, man. Especially in end games. They can go anywhere. So,
and with little time, I
Yes.
also feel like they are super valuable in like the time scrambles because they're so unpredictable in the way they're moving around. But for the time being, both of these players have played very fast.
yes,
Yeah.
very quick play. But we're entering interesting territory now, I think. Even though they have exchanged a lot of pieces, or at least some pieces, this is going to get tricky quite soon, I believe. Black has a lot of pressure on the queen side now.
Yeah, something's going to come into White's camp. Okay, he's just defending his pawn. It's just hard to find a plan. Like the 2 white knights, you want to move them, but they can't really go anywhere.
No.
The white rook is going to be passive, no entry squares to go forward. White queen quite passive.
Maybe like knight e1 to d3 is a small improvement, perhaps.
Yeah, I quite like that. Maybe he's thinking of jumping forward as well to g5, but that might come at the cost of an exchange, and the black queen would have come round to pick up a pawn. So we just see more maneuvers. You're right, Denis Lazovic, he's just got this kind of smooth style where he doesn't take too much risk, doesn't do anything too special, keeps a bit of time on the clock, and just outplays opponents in the endgame. Quite rare for such a young player.
Yeah, despite his age, I would say he's playing very maturely. Like his style is very like, I don't know, Karpov-ish.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he has a really high rating. Like, my goodness.
Wow.
Especially on chess.com, especially in Blitz and Rapid. Like, it's crazy. He doesn't play much classical chess, rarely travels outside of his country, and still under 2,600 or around 2,600 in classical chess, but so much better than that. And okay, he keeps his bishop pair intact. The white rook can now get to the 7th, but no threats still. So Pranav just waits. Yeah.
And it's probably a goal for Lazovic as well to get to the Esports World Cup. And he'll have a chance at that through the Title Tuesdays. He'll have a chance at through the Speed Chess Championship. Probably he'll play the Global Chess.com Championship. Like, he's playing everything that's online, everything related to the Champions Chess Tour for many years now. So, yeah, his classical rating is really lagging behind.
Yeah. Lazovic here gives away the bishop pair, which is a bit surprising to me because, like, traditional wisdom, let's say, chess wisdom, says that queen and knight is better than queen and bishop because they move differently and do different jobs fundamentally. So I would say this is not clear at all anymore.
Yeah, I really like White's chances suddenly. The g5 pawn looks a bit weak, but kind of clamps down on some dart squares. So yeah, Denis Lazovic, the whole reason he traded off was because he wanted to win this pawn. Not possible. Black's got a kind of bit of a weakness on e5, isolated pawns on the other side of the board. Queen exchange now as well might not solve Black's problems.
Like you could. I can imagine White going f4 and then taking with the g pawn, and then suddenly you get some squares for the queen on d4. Maybe this is getting a bit tricky.
Oh, I agree. Knight c4 looks also very tempting now, going for this
agreed.
pawn. Denis Lazovic's lost control of the board and the clock. I don't really know what he's got in mind. Maybe some counter-attacking ideas, but they look a bit too slow. The white king is pretty safe. He's just going to move. What's he got up his sleeve? Oh, no, it's a big blunder. There was one trick. Oh, no. Oh, no, the queen is threatening to come in with some mates. The knight is hit.
Big trick.
What a trick. I had a feeling there was something, but I would have blundered this exact same thing as well. This was so hidden. Oh, double attack. This is a checkmate threat.
Very
And
clever.
Lazovic looks very relieved that he was able to pull off this trick.
Oh, that's why he's so good. He can do the positional, but he can also do the tricky hustling.
Yeah.
And
Bishop f1. Wow, such a move.
2 minutes left on the clock for both of them, and that should be enough. And we can see that Denis, he is chilling out now. He knows that he's gonna win this game.
Yeah.
And their there's a resignation from Pranav, which means we'll have time to look at some other games. And in this game, we see Hikaru is struggling quite a bit against one of the Svalna brothers. You can tell me which one, maybe, David, or do you?
Rasmus.
Rasmus.
Played him many times. The older of the Svalna brothers. He's been a very, very creative player for many years. Here, he does have a bit of extra material. White's pawn structure is a bit weird with 2 double pawns, so he does have an extra pawn with black, but they are connected pass pawns as well. So unless Hikaru can land some sacrifices, some kind of checkmates, then Svalna should be doing well. But there are a few ifs. Sometimes it's hard to defend these types of positions when you know you're winning, but you need to be accurate and the clock is ticking.
Yeah, like if you give White a couple of moves like Queen H5 and then yeah, this rook lift, then suddenly you have an attack. But maybe Hikaru is threatening to take on H7 now.
Oof, scary.
Maybe it's not so scary. Maybe Black don't have to take it at all and just go the other way, and the king is super safe, and the pawns on the queen side will do the job and promote eventually.
Well, big moment for Svalna. If he wants to hold on, he's got to make a move.
Ticking.
Spending a lot of time.
Also bishop h7, rook d4, no?
What is this
Got
move?
king f8 or something?
Oh, he's allowed bishop takes h7 with a check. Hikaru's talking about it. Dragging the king out. That is such an
Wait
odd
a
move.
second.
Yeah, that's not what the
gotta move,
position
though.
demands at all.
Svalna moving his queen away from the action.
He does it.
Oh, sacrifices on. Watch out, checkmate in the air.
King F8?
He's got to run. Have to just admit defeat
King
there and run.
F8, bishop C5. Ouch.
The game goes on. There is a
Oh.
check.
Is this a draw?
Computer says draw, but only if Svalna finds the right squares to continue checking. He has to keep checking as long as possible. Oh, but the white rook is going to come back. Oh,
Can he give up
Okay,
so
maybe
that
I
the
can't win
queen
this.
somehow and then promote his pawn?
yeah, that pawn's very close.
I'm going to try to cheese him, I think. Queen e2 is a move too, but...
What does that mean, cheesing? He's gonna try and win.
Do him dirty, I think.
Oh, wait, rook d1 doesn't... Wait.
Why doesn't rook d1 work?
Can't Hikaru try to win on time?
B2 perhaps? No,
way more
it's
time.
an 8.
Ooh,
Wait, that's just a blunder.
Svalna's better. The a4 pawn drops, though. Lost his advantage.
There we
Hikaru's
go.
going to do him dirty.
Yeah.
Cheesing's beginning. Svalna has no time simply, and this endgame, rook for knight, is winning for white.
Hikaru is so fast as well.
Look at the speed. Wow, the pre-moves are insane that Hikaru's dropping on the board. 8 seconds versus 3 seconds. It's hopeless, surely, for Svalna here.
There we
Checkmate
go.
incoming as well with the pawns.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Checkmate ends the game.
Ugh. Okay, I got the win. That was not a good game either. Yeah, I'm very shaky. I was completely lost too, of course. But was I losing the opening? If I play rook b1, I'm fine. If I...
Okay, well, it sounds like, look at Svalna's reaction, and Hikaru was admitting that he was losing at some point, and it was a shaky game.
Yeah, it's really refreshing. The top players are very honest nowadays. Like in the past, like if they win, they will say they're always winning. But Hikaru understood that he was in big trouble, and that just showed the time format you mentioned, Jon Christian, earlier. Just plays such a big role and easier to attack than defend in those positions.
Yeah. Impressive job by Hikaru to keep the position going and finding the resources to push back, because that was not an easy game to turn around at all. It's like you have to find some way to keep the game going and not just lose immediately, because if your opponent can just make easy moves, then, well, you lose either on position or on time. So good job by Hikaru, I have to say.
And we see that we have 19 players. That's quite a lot who have all the perfect scores so far, 4 out of 4 points. And it's Hikaru, it's Magnus, it's Wesley So, it's all the big names that we've been following. So we have an exciting second half of the tournament ahead of us. But the players now have a short break, and we are going to sum up the action so far. All right. right? And this is one of the only breaks the players really have to like run, go to the bathroom, get something to drink, grab a glass of water, because it's really intense to just play game after game after game.
Oh yeah, it's an intense 2 hours with this type of format. I mean, usually you have time to rewind and to calm down your nerves and everything, but yeah, you have to be really focused in order to refresh your mind when playing this type of tournament. Because, well, if you play 10 minutes, the full 10 minutes, then the game is just going to start instantaneously.
Exactly, and to keep up your speed, I mean, the clock is so important in every game. To be super locked in, super focused. Yeah, at some point you need that little bit of a break and. In order to keep the energy. But yeah, it looks like most of the favorites doing very well so far. I think they're just used to this time format at this point. We've been playing so many weeks. But in the meantime, we see some other very special guests playing Title Tuesday. Anna Kramling. Wow, we see Witty Alien at the bottom there, just dancing away, beating his chest. A familiar sight to anyone who's been watching his streams over the last year. He's been a guest here in Oslo a couple of times as well. And then the chairs of Magnus and Hikaru, they'll be back soon.
And it's also interesting to see that he has like the screen of showing how much is there left of the break. So I was just saying like, oh, the players, they have time to go to the bathroom. We saw some empty chairs. He's just sitting there like counting down the seconds until until the 5th round is starting.
Way too hyped to be able to go anywhere else than from the computer. So yeah, no, he's a really funny guy. Do we know how our 2 special guests are doing so far?
We'll put David to that task.
On it.
Very good.
I will need a few seconds.
Yeah.
By the way, I was looking at the standings, the total standings earlier, and it struck me a bit that did I see any Indians at all, or?
Yeah, I guess Nihal we see is playing, and he has 4 out of 4 so far. But a lot of them haven't been prioritizing playing it now that they are playing in the Vaikanse tournament, apparently. So many of them have traveled to the Netherlands. And then usually also it's a bit late for them in the evening. So yeah, they haven't really been prioritizing it. And so many of them, Gukesh, Prague, Erigaisi, so many of them have like big classical chess tournaments to focus on.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's been their priorities, and of course the candidates tournament coming up. But we can take a look at the country standings, Jon Christian, because do you have any country that you suspect will be in the lead here?
Well, the US is probably a hot take, I would say. I don't know.
Yeah. But India always does
so
well.
India is number 2, though. Yeah.
Because they always have so many players participating, and it's the top 5 players that are contributing to the scores. And when you have so many participants, then there's always someone who's doing well. Norway, 13th place, hooray!
How do you sum up these country scores?
Yeah,
It's the top 5 players, the best 5 players of the country.
All of their scores added up. So the US are on 19.5 divided by 4. So they're averaging just under 5. Wait, just under 4 points there?
Yeah, just
under 4 points.
So they have 4 people with 4 points and 1 person with 3.5.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not quick enough to understand this math, but okay.
Muy complicado.
Yeah.
Norway, for example, they're on 12 points. So the top 5 players, they're averaging 3 points after 4 rounds.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
But let's take a look at one of the highlights so far in our action replay, because there's been quite a lot of exciting moments, a lot of exciting time scrambles. And here we saw, this is the highlight so far, Magnus, who really just messes up a really one position.
Exactly. Here, we were almost writing it off. We were saying Magnus is going to win this 100 times out of 100 against his young opponent from Venezuela, about to win 2 pawns, or to go 2 pawns up. But this was just the beginning, and somehow there were mutual queens appearing, promotions. Magnus had let it all slip, but suddenly he was better. Suddenly he'd lost the advantage. It was all about the clock. Alan there with 15 seconds left. Unfortunately, blundering here when he could have maybe just taken that black rook, tried to flag Magnus, blundering into this mate in 2. Magnus doing it with just 2 seconds left. That was really scary brinksmanship, and we see the heartbreak on Alan's face.
Oh.
Ooh.
And the contrast with Magnus just smiling and being so happy about his situation. And Magnus has a perfect 4 out of 4. In addition, Hikaru, other favorites, Wesley So, also one of the highest rated players that's participating. And right now, we're finally going to start seeing some of the top guys facing off each other here.
That's right. So Magnus is playing Shamsidin Vokidov, part of the famous Olympiad-winning Uzbekistan team. Maybe slightly under the radar compared to the likes of Nodibek Abdusattorov and Yavokir Sindarov. Here we see the C3 Sicilian, the Alapin variation, the White Knight trying to get forward to B5. That was cut off, so it's going a different route. This is a variation that Magnus has played a lot, mostly with the black side, but lately with white, he's started playing the C3 Sicilian in games that he's happy to just make a draw. But this is still very well-known theory. Interesting start to this game. As Maud said, this is a sign of respect, I think, from Magnus, the fact that he's playing a super strong Grandmaster now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Sicilian is always an invitation to get a very uneven position. If white wants to, you get these really, really crazy position where you castle on opposite sides, where you have a lot of action going. In this position, you get a bit... in the C3 Sicilian, you get a lot calmer positions, I would say. More, not so much strategical, but more positional, perhaps.
Magnus seems to be in a good mood so far.
Spending some time, though.
Okay, but then that move was just horrible. Let's try Queen C5 then, bring the queen around here, but
doesn't sound too happy.
Much worse.
Much worse. And he was mentioning the knight to b6. Was that a move he was considering? And then he almost like blundered a knight. Like what? Where is Magnus's calculation today?
Yeah, something's a bit off. He wanted to move his knight, I think, and he forgot that the white knight would have gone to b6, hitting his queen and hitting the rook in the corner. He was about to blunder a pretty basic knight fork. So you're right, Maud. Like something's off.
Yeah.
He's not at his best. He's still on 4 out of 4 though, and it does take a special skill to still grind out these results when you're not quite at peak performance.
Yeah, the position is
B3,
maybe a bit
and
cramped for Magnus here. He's gonna struggle to get his bishop and his rook in the corner into play. Yeah. What do you think, David?
Yeah, I agree. Easier for white to find moves like bishop f3, very natural, putting pressure. The rook will come to the center. Very, very easy for Vokidov to find moves. At some point, you might even take that knight, give black an isolated pawn.
Magnus is just shuffling around now.
Yeah, he wants to create a square at least. Some activity.
Right.
Knight C5, Queen C2.
Says the move, but he doesn't play it.
Not yet.
Doesn't look horrible.
Okay, doesn't look horrible. So maybe he's in a better mood now. But the evaluation bar at the top of the screen is saying that Vokidov is better.
Bishop f6, maybe?
Yeah. And he has a lot more space for his pieces.
Bishop c5.
Making improvement moves, Magnus, getting his bishop off a slightly vulnerable square. But it is looking a bit shaky. Again, the bishop comes out for white. Everything's developing so nicely. Once white centralizes the rook, every single piece is in play.
Yeah.
But, Magnus still with a few of them asleep.
Like bishop d7, bishop c6 or e8 or something, maybe?
There might be some issues.
I'm seeing ghosts.
Yeah, right. He's seeing ghosts, he says. That's not good.
It's not Halloween anymore.
No.
Don't want to be seeing ghosts.
Ooh. Here?
That is passive. There's going to be issues on this diagonal now, though.
Magnus looks clearly quite...
Right, this is not a dream. That's for sure.
That's one way of saying it. But he manages to kind of stay positive, even in these situations. Like, I would hate having the position that Magnus has right now, just like barely finding moves that are possible to make. Yeah. But he's like, well.
If queen e7, then knight c6.
Oh, wow. That is a beautiful tactic. Family fork there, and there would be a pin on the b8 rook. Oh, Magnus. What? He's just totally ignoring the bishop coming back.
What?
Is he going to block with his knight?
Oof. And then play g5, or what is he thinking?
As long as like this is just to prepare g5, h6, honestly. Knight b6, I'm not sure I love for him.
Okay, so Magnus is actually getting a... It looks okay now for the time being. He's at least activated his knight, kind of.
Yep, the black knight is secured now, especially after g5. White could have obtained a bigger advantage if the knight had dropped back to apply extra pressure on this knight. It would have been almost decisive according to the computer, but that wasn't so obvious. And now Vokidov has to still find the next steps. He is better. White's pieces are still very, very active. Black still with some problem pieces. But what to do next? What is the next step? Are there any tactics? If not, then he might have to just continue slowly improving. And Magnus now is at least ahead on time. And huge blunder.
What is this?
Oh, no.
What is he
just
doing?
Fuck it up.
Look at him.
Inexplicable blunder.
His reaction.
Now he can resign. This is just a clear piece down.
If I'm going to receive gifts like this, then I certainly have a chance in this tournament. That was
Magnus.
just a 3-piece.
A late Christmas gift.
Oh, look at Vokidov's reaction.
Oh, that's
Unfortunate.
so generous.
As I said in the previous game, sometimes it's a shame that these games are decided by a crude blunder, but as long as I'm on the receiving end then of these blunders, then I don't mind.
But should Vokidov give up in this position, or he's kind of working on accepting what's happened, I guess?
Exactly. I mean, might as well play on a few more moves and have less of a break. You don't want to just resign here and sit for the next 3-4 minutes thinking, what have I done?
Yeah.
But Magnus is not going to make a mistake. Clear extra knight. That White King looks like it's ready to get checkmated somehow on the light squares.
Yeah.
Knight just needs to move out the way, and there will be a checkmate in the corner here on h1. Wow, what a gift. He literally set it up himself, Vokidov. I'm glad it's Magnus being harsh. It saves us doing our job of being harsh, but yeah.
Oh, Hikaru loses.
Oh.
Ooh, some surprises.
Already as well.
They can often get away with losing one game and still winning the entire tournament, but that's going to be tough for Hikaru to come back from.
Especially if Magnus keeps getting those gifts.
Yeah.
It strikes me that Magnus often receives these type of gifts. I think it's a clear indication that it's like mentally quite difficult to play against Magnus because they know Magnus is Magnus, and it gives him some leeway. I think that other players doesn't have.
G3 was winning.
Yeah. Now Magnus is analyzing his game. He knows that
Also
he didn't have a perfect position earlier on. He was struggling quite a bit. He was quite unhappy. He had such a passive position, and he was able to come back from it. And here we see Alexei Sarana, who's also won several Title Tuesdays through the years, and he has a bit of a time advantage, but a slightly worse position. He has a knight in place of a rook. What do you think here, David?
Yeah, he doesn't have any pawns for the material, so he must be worse. And a big blunder there, allowing a hit on the rook, which is defending this pawn. That looks like a horrible mistake, and now black is all tied up. I'm wondering whether white can at some point start pushing pawns. Kicks away the black knight first of all. I was going to say black is pretty stable, like putting the knight in the center earlier, just sit on the position, block it up. It's going to be hard for white to break through, but now the knight...
A2, C3?
Yeah, the only hope, surely. Like, way better than putting the knight on a6. That's just unthinkable. Knight a2 is the question. Oh, doesn't go for it. Now the white pawns are coming through.
Oh, wow.
The knight's too far away.
Put black knight on b2, I would be very happy.
A knight on this square would be checkmate.
Oh, look at his expression, Sarana.
He knows. Now the white rooks are getting active. It's collapsing. Like dominoes, all the pawns are going to drop off. You could maybe even give up your rook for a knight at some point, or you can just defend with the pride and joy.
Yeah, no need to give up the rook for the knight.
No.
But the time, though, I mean, can you survive this with black? Oh, trick.
Ooh.
It's at least more exciting because of the time.
But not anymore. Black just can't move. The rook can never move because white will make a new queen.
It's too easy for white
to
now. Make moves, yeah.
20
This?
seconds.
Okay.
More than enough. You can pre-move your way to victory. He's going to pick up the pawns. Serrano resigns. Sigalko gets the win.
I don't know exactly what it meant, but it wasn't something positive. And disappointing for Serrana. We see that we've got a draw. There haven't been many draws today of the games that we've been following, but Lazovic and Terry, they have taken a draw. Magnus, Andraken, Wesley So. Yeah, it's there's fewer people left now with the perfect score in the top here.
Yeah, now we're getting some top dogs playing each other. It will be very exciting to see if Magnus can hold up. For Magnus' sake, it feels like he's not playing his best, but
neither is everybody else.
Yeah,
his
exactly.
opponents.
Hikaru lost in 25 moves.
Five moves?
He got crushed. It was about to be checkmate as well.
Wow.
Andraken's normally a positional player, but was able to attack Hikaru successfully. This one, Bortnik's in big trouble. 2 seconds. Oh, that's a big gamble. Gives up his rook. But look at his opponent's clock. He's going to flag him. White doesn't get the black pawns in time. What a gamble from Bortnik. That was such a tricky move to give up his rook there.
Wow. He is a master of playing with very little time left on his clock. And he also, that means, will have a perfect score 5 out of 5, or maybe not.
Where is Bortnik? It looks like he's further down the standings. So maybe he dropped a game a bit earlier on today, but two players who do have a perfect score, Magnus Carlsen and Sam Sevian, who's been in very good form recently. I can confirm Bortnik's on 5.5, on 4 points out of 5.
Got it.
And okay, a Spanish Roy Lopez. And this is something Magnus was pretty much talking about when we were earlier watching the press conference before his blindfold game against Hikaru. These Spanishers with the bishop coming out to c5. And it looks like Magnus is going to slow play it. Typical knight maneuvers now incoming around in front of the king to g3. He's been playing these for 25 years, Magnus Carlsen, with a lot of success.
Yeah, Spanish is such a delicate opening, and with so many subtleties, you really have to know your stuff. But if there's one guy who knows this stuff, it's certainly Magnus. But small moves can make a big difference in the Spanish Ruy Lopez opening. I never got hold of it at all. It's really tricky. I feel like
it's no King's Gambit.
I don't know if that's real or not.
No King's Gambit. Just going all
Bishop
out.
d7. I'm not sure that I love.
Well, is the knight coming to f5 now? Perhaps is that the thing?
I mean, it's all like if I manage that all.
Okay, bishop to a5, a sneaky move, hitting the rook.
Right. I didn't even see that.
Good move. Blindfold chess again. Sevian's disappeared. And maybe he'll now take with the rook, or maybe he'll take with the bishop, but it is a bit scary to allow the knight in. Okay, Magnus plays more positionally. He wants the light squared bishops off. If those bishops do come off the board, then black might not be so happy to have all of his pawns stuck in dark squares.
That's probably a reasonable move, isn't it? Rook e2, is there any point to that? Maybe trying later on to swing the rook over.
Yeah, so Magnus is, he has some plans. He's familiar with this kind of similar structure that you often get when you're playing the Roy Lopez a million times in your life. So he can at least use that experience. But Sam Sevian has been playing pretty quickly as well.
Yeah, playing quickly, confidently, slightly better according to the evaluation bar. Magnus's pawn structure is a bit worse. He has an isolated pawn, so long-term black is doing quite well. It's just about how the game progresses from here. He's hoping to swing his rook across, but the rooks don't have so much backup. He's going to get kicked out now. White's queen would love to be on the A file. That would keep White's rook active. It's going to have to retreat. This is turning. Magnus did say as well in his press conference, against the older players like Magnus, Hikaru, you don't want these fixed pawn structures, these slow maneuvering games, but Sam Sevian's handling it really well so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, it strikes me that there's very few pawn breaks in this position, so you have to play with the pieces instead of the pawns. I mean, you can run up with the H pawn, but I just think it gives up the g4 square for the bishop. So you just have to shuffle pieces around, trying to oh, d5, is that a move?
Ooh, that's the big question. It would be a very principled move. What else? There we go. Cool. Breaking the structure even further. Now white has 2 isolated pawns. Black has 1. There's a threat though. Knight to c3.
That's a big threat.
Big threat with the fork.
Queen a1. Do you want to give up the bishop? You can go bishop d2 also, maybe.
Or he can bring his bishop around again.
It's always fun when we kind of say the same things.
Yeah. I mean, those 2. It's very reasonable. Yeah, I don't have any advantage here.
Ooh, Magnus not thinking he is better any longer.
Well, then he has a good sense of what the evaluation bar is saying, that it's dead even. A very even position. And as you said, Jon Christian, there's not really any pawn break. So what is he supposed to be doing right now, Magnus, to try to win this game?
Well, Sevian's move currently, maybe some knight to f4 I was thinking about. But yeah, still equal position, but far from a drawish position. Very a lot of life in this game still, and I don't think I would bet on a draw in this game, even though the position is equal.
And Magnus also very often is focused when he does have the perfect score. He has 5 points out of 5. So as long as he has the perfect score and we are many rounds away from the end, he will really try to keep that statistic up and have the possibility of the perfect 11 out of 11. So I've seen him decline draws in situations where he probably shouldn't. And
Magnus has, I've seen him go 11 out of 11 once. Do you know if he has done it more than once?
4 times ever in history. And one of the times was after they changed the format to this 5 minutes and 0 seconds of increment.
Yeah.
So that was a couple of weeks ago that he managed that as the only person who's done it after they changed the time format. And that makes it a bit more difficult because running out of time is something that obviously happens every now and then. So it's so hard to just have a perfect 11 games in a row and not mess up because of the time.
Yeah, Magnus's rook is in a bit of trouble now.
Ooh, he's offering a repetition of the position if Black's knight retreats.
He will decline for sure.
Yeah, he's just trying to burn time off Sevian's clock. Why is Sevian thinking? Does he want more than a draw against Magnus? Does he want to put his knight on a different square, for example? Or maybe trade off bishops first? Trading off bishops does connect the white pawns, though. Not sure how desirable that is. Maybe at some point the black knight can come into the center, but he's spending too long, Sevian. And he does offer the repetition. Second time we've seen this position.
Ooh.
And Magnus, moment of truth.
Let's hear what he says.
Tail between my legs.
Really?
Wow. We're going to see it fizzle out, and threefold repetition means a draw.
Like
Magnus
he's achieved a ton by bringing the knight from d5 to b5.
Ooh, dropping points. No more 11 out of 11 on the cards.
He said tail between his legs, just as he was accepting that draw. And here we see not Caruana, but there he's back. And Caruana has 4.5 points so far, so he's doing well. He hasn't participated like every single week in Title Tuesday, but when he does, he's obviously one of the top contenders. And yeah, he seems to be struggling a bit here. Does have more time, but more passed pawns for Benjamin Book.
Yeah, an easy plan. These positions, sometimes you can bank on the clock as a savior, but when the opponent's moves are so easy, so obvious, like pushing pawns, I tend to be skeptical you can save it. It's 3 versus 3, but Black's pawns are way ahead in this race.
Tricky position still, though. I mean, as long as there's a knight, you have some time, stuff can drop, I think.
A hit on the white knight has slowed Fabiano down. He's losing his time advantage. That is not a good sign for him. Is he going to give a check first?
Perhaps it's mate.
Yeah.
Apparently it wasn't, so you play on.
Okay, and Benjamin Bock, will he play the most obvious move now? Start pushing his g-pawn forward. 3 squares away from touchdown from a new queen. He's slowed right down, though. He trades off the knight.
Oh.
Really? No, what if you take the knight and take on h6?
Yeah, you could have taken the knight and come round, back around. That was a big question. Fabiano prefers to give up a pawn just to keep his king within touching distance, no longer cut off, but 33 seconds should be enough here. Black's just pushing. Another check.
Karana sitting in silence.
Yeah, but we can hear his mouse click, so we can probably hear if he makes any pre-moves, but he's not doing any so far.
Yeah,
And we'll hear lots of clicks after each other.
The louder the click, the more the frustration. He knows he's losing.
Looks like Bok is doing this very cleanly.
Ooh. First rank is stopped, but white's pawns are gone. Stalemate is the only way we can save it. And mate in 15, mate in 12. The bar tells it all. Mate in 15 again. Benjamin Bok. He's moving in for the kill. King is coming. The pawn is coming. Pre-moves are
Pawn to
coming.
h2 and then king h3 incoming.
And there we go.
Or even easier.
Checkmate ends the game. Benjamin Bok gets the win.
Wow. But he looks happy about it. Not saying much, and he moves to 5.5 points. We see that Wesley So, he is in the sole lead.
Yeah, I was worse though.
Okay, Benjamin, you can analyze your game a little bit if you want to. But as we can see, there is Wesley So, he is in the lead with 6 points, and then there's a huge field of people with 5.5 points. But Wesley, he doesn't play that often in Title Tuesday, but when he does, he's apparently showing up with full force.
Exactly, and he's had some words to say recently about Magnus. I think it might be Wesley against Magnus next. Just kind of, again, the fact that they're both due black, I think less relevant than Magnus having the highest rating, so we'll be floating up. But Wesley was slightly critical of the freestyle chess tour of Magnus, kind of having some influence on who's kind of selected. So maybe a score to settle in this next game.
Yeah, Wesley, who has won the World Championship when it was called Fischer Random. He won, I believe it was in 2019.
Against Magnus in Norway.
And he really beat him in a match over very many games. And he proved that he's very good at Fischer Random, but then he hasn't been playing in the freestyle events. And now that they announced that the freestyle chess will actually be an official FIDE world title, and it's going to be held now in just a couple of weeks in February. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting that there's one spot that was available to play for, and you commented on that, David.
That's right, and it was Nodibek Abdusattorov, also a very good player in general, but especially in freestyle, who qualified. It will be a pity, though, not to see Hikaru and Wesley, two former freestyle or Fischer Random world champions, in attendance, battling for another title. But
what we will get to see is Magnus against Wesley, so we'll let the chess speak for itself in this case.
Exactly. And here we go, it's a Queen's Gambit declined. Magnus tends to play his A-list openings against the very top dogs. No more Bong Clouds, no more cow openings. It's mainstream stuff. And he loves this Carlsbad structure, Magnus, with both white and black, where it tends to get a bit locked. I'm expecting c6 soon. And lots of maneuvers.
Is this a reaction that he's kind of tired?
It's one that I don't remember.
He doesn't remember.
Ooh.
This isn't a good sign.
Old.
Too old, yeah. Okay.
Kasparov game here, right? With bishop g4, h3 takes d4. Like, I'm sure this has been sold with engines, and I just don't know it.
I also believe this is well-known theory. Magnus quoting some World Championship games. He's got a crazy memory when it comes to chess history.
Maybe I'm wrong. Is that because Wesley would be happy with a draw here? Because he's in the lead. He has 6 out of 6.
b7.
Wesley shaking his head. I think Wesley would love a draw with black.
Like, from my point of view,
kind of
it's
mass
not so familiar with these World Championship games from ancient times. It looks to me like Magnus just has the bishop pair. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong. He does have the bishop pair. It's just a question of whether he can keep the bishop pair intact while maintaining some kind of other imbalance, maybe. D takes e3 is coming next. Either he'll have to take an isolated pawn or part with one of his beloved bishops next move.
Right.
It's not impressive, that's for sure. But Maybe we can pretend to have some slight advantage here.
Okay.
Thinking that bishop is stronger than... I don't know why I went with this rook. Why on earth did I go with this rook? Not the other one.
Well,
Magnus has a lot to say about this position, and yeah, he seems to be a little bit out of it today. He seems a bit tired. It's been a long day of chess already for him. Now he's regretting which rook he moved. He looks tired.
spoiler alert, that was by far the best move according to the computer. I don't understand why above my pay grade, but the other rook would have been significantly worse.
Wow.
According to the computer. Magnus would still have had decent chances, but not the advantage he currently has.
Okay, so Magnus gives up the bishop here, but if anyone can be better, it has to be Magnus here. With an open position with the bishop against the knight and slightly better development. Here he can win a pawn. No. A2 is hanging also.
He just saves it, but even if the queens and rooks come off, like the bishop's better than the knight, I think there's decent long-term chances. It's a Magnus type of position. Wesley would love to have the white pieces being a positional grinder himself.
B4? No, maybe rook B3? No.
Rook B3 would allow some tricks. Knight to D4.
Oh, wow.
And a fork. Black will land a check.
Yikes.
With material.
It looks like such a chill position, but then suddenly those kinds of things appear out of nowhere. And Magnus is spending some time right now.
Oh, wait, it goes deeper. I would have blundered there. Rook B3 was a very good move, apparently, because after knight to D4, white could have played queen H5, threatening checkmate.
Oh.
He could have, the tricker would have become the tricked. And instead, Magnus goes for a positional approach where he has won a pawn, but has had to part with his bishop. I have seen him win these many times.
Only an A pawn left.
Oh.
Kind of starts smelling a little bit like a draw, but the queens are still on the board.
Why did he trade off his B pawn? A B pawn's so much better than an A pawn.
Yeah, that was a bit weird.
Okay.
Rook C3, I suppose.
Queen A is such a clever move, though. Protecting everything, no tricks.
Yeah, yeah. Like, black had to be careful of the back rank, but now he has created Luft and some breathing space.
How to improve for Magnus. If the queens come off...
This also looks a little bit similar to my game.
Oh. Similar to his game.
So in such a position, what would you like to trade off as white in order to improve your chances? Would you want to... I mean, if you could trade off both the rooks and the queens, well, then you're winning. But if you have to choose, do you want the rooks off or the queens off?
I think if I were Magnus, I would want the queens off only if I could get another set of rooks off the board.
Okay, so one rook left for each would be good chances for white, yeah?
Yeah, or all of the rooks off the board. A pure queen endgame, and probably white's king is safe enough that the A pawn will decide. So
okay, so what you don't want is only the queens, which he's getting now.
Maybe he had to allow it, though. Maybe there was no way to keep the pressure, and he's going to hope that his king is active. He'll now try and trade off one set of rooks.
Right, because if rook A8, then you can go rook C8 and trade one pair of rooks. And then run the king over to the A pawn and trying to run it up the board.
The black rook on A7 is quite passive, at least, so Wesley needs to be a bit careful. That's why he moves his rook up, so there's no rook trades on the cards.
It's so strange to me, because when I was growing up, the saying was that all rook endgames are drawn. Nowadays, it's like, I don't understand anymore. No rook endgames are drawn anymore. Everyone plays everything out, and, well, you get results. I don't understand anymore.
Nothing's a draw when it's 5+0.
Yeah, exactly. This
I'll
format...
continue to grind, he just says.
Yeah.
But Wesley,
He's blundered his
Yes,
pawn.
no,
but rook F4, rook F4, rook F3.
Okay, let's try and flag then.
Okay, 3 versus 2. It's a dead drawn endgame. No chance of creating a pass pawn. Flaggeroni. We were talking about the Venezuelan flag. We should be talking about Magnus trying to flag in all these games.
Yeah.
And Wesley, look at his slight smile. He knows what's happening. Wesley knows.
And this is where you try and play like rook b7 and hope the opponent pre-moves rook b3 and try to catch their rook.
Yeah.
But there's no way for Magnus to advance.
I guess I'm only trying to flag myself here.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Wesley's going to maintain the lead. The draw is a fantastic result with black, half a point ahead of Magnus.
Yeah.
It does feel like he undersold his advantage, Magnus, grabbing the pawn and then leaving himself with the a-pawn and then letting the a-pawn be traded off.
More space.
A few small errors.
Is Magnus making any progress?
Not really, unfortunately. His king is advanced.
Now at many points as well, he could just trade rooks if he wants to.
Yeah. Rook trade still a draw, unfortunately.
Oh, wow.
If black can maintain the opposition with the kings.
Right.
Let's see.
Okay.
Let's make him earn it. No. Oh, I had rook. Damn it, I had rook. I was kind of close to winning there. I mean, not really, but...
As close as he'll get, Magnus. Okay, he's nearly up on time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worked for it.
Oh, he's earning seconds, but the 50 move rule is going to start kicking into
Yeah, when was the
effect
last time a pawn was
shortly.
taken?
Oh, it was a while ago now. We're at move 86.
Can he trade here? Yeah, he can.
Can, and this is going to be a draw. The black king holds its ground.
Right, yeah.
The h-pawn alone will not be enough. Black's king will go to the corner. And Magnus's king can't bypass. Very well-known draw. Wesley So is going to show it. Even with 40 seconds on the clock, it's enough. And here we go, final few moves now. The king will block the white king, and nothing for Magnus to do.
And he's smiling. He's realizing.
It is a draw.
And
frustration for Magnus.
yeah, absolutely. And he's looking through the game now. You can see it in his eyes that he's trying to see what could I have done better. But he can't spend too much time looking at that because we are headed towards the 8th round. But Magnus now a point down. And we skip in here to see other players with 5.5 points, also at the very top of the leaderboard. We have Nihal versus Sevian, and there's still a lot left of this game.
Yeah, black has the bishop pair, but the bishop on f1 especially lacks targets. It's not really ever going to hit anything, and at some point might just get traded off. Ooh, this check means the white knight is going to be sat on this square forever, just protecting all the pawns, and massively better for black there. Black could have gone back with his bishop. He would have won either the b4 or the g3 pawns. Missed the opportunity. Sam Sevian is in a race against time again. Down on the clock. Looks like a draw with the pawns coming off. No material left. If they trade off all the remaining pawns, the game will automatically be stopped. I have a feeling Nihal wants to win this on time.
Tricky knight.
Easier to play with a knight. Easier to keep the pawns on with the knight. And he does allow a knight trade though. And just like the Magnus against Wesley So game, it's going to end in a drawn king and pawn ending. There we go. Fair result.
Fair result indeed.
And that means that there are even more players, just like Magnus, who are at 6 points. But we do see that Jeffrey Zhang, he has won his game against Benjamin Book, which means that he is also now in the lead together with Wesley So. So the two Americans, when we look at the country standings, the U.S. on top with 30 points right now, followed by India, and then Poland, Norway, number 12. England, nowhere to be seen, David.
Oh, no.
But we are getting ready for round 8. And the two leaders, it's a hint to you that you have to start playing, but at the same time, you have to be here.
England came 20th last week, so just inside, just on our graphic.
Yeah.
But this week, they're missing some strong players, like Simon Williams, who's commentating on Tata Steel. But in the meantime, we jump in. It's Hikaru versus Pranav. And we see a Rossolimo Sicilian with the bishop coming out to b5. Often there's an early trade, maybe not in this game. More positional approach from Hikaru, who's caught up just behind the leaders now.
Yeah, Ghost Rider is back.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that has been discussed quite a lot recently, this opening, I think. I don't play it so much myself, but feel like where you place your bishop, if you go rook e1 and bishop f1 or however else you want to play it, it feels like this is something that has been theorized a lot.
Yeah, very deeply studied. All of these variations with bishop b5 nowadays, really, really trendy. The idea is if white builds a big pawn center now, there might be some exchanges, and the black knight would have jumped into b4 to try and get the bishop pair. So Hikaru holds off. And now the big question is whether white can advance in the center. He just plays it slowly.
D3 seems a bit passive.
Yeah, he's going to slow play it. He's going to bring his knight around. Wow, this is Hikaru just trying to keep the game going, and he's going to try and flag his opponent later.
Oh, he's just moving pieces and playing chess, trying to.
Knight h6, king g7.
But then again, it feels like he accepts a slightly worse position.
Did he just say knight h6?
H4, the king can still move.
Either we're behind or he's behind. He was talking about a king on g7, which I don't think is likely to be happening anytime soon.
He's probably just thinking really, really deeply.
Maybe he's playing blindfold chess as well as playing this game.
I mean, it's a move. I don't really want to play it, though, so I'm going to go queen e2.
Wait, so it is the right position?
Yes.
Could have just played maybe I should have just played h4 in one go anyway.
He was talking about a variation way down the line. Like h4, castles, h5, knight h8, h6, and then there would have been some stuff.
Okay, wow. That's crazy that you have to think that far ahead, even in this position. Like, if I saw this, I wouldn't be thinking, oh, I have an attack on the king.
I'm going to go h4 here.
Different wavelength.
But here it comes. Here it comes what he was talking about earlier.
He's going to be pushing his pawn. It makes a lot of sense. The knight on g6 is a bit misplaced. Unless it can jump into the center at some point and trade off, it might well get kicked into a really ugly square in the corner.
Reasonable move. I can obviously take and play f4 if I want to. For some reason, not to do that.
Happens?
I can also move the knight
so if
to
you take on e5 and then d5, then queen takes, and you get some mating threats, so the knight isn't falling.
Very, very important variation there. Forcing moves first. Hold things together with tactics.
And it's so interesting when Hikaru was talking about this variation of pushing his pawn all the way up to the other side, and the knight was going to go into the corner, and then that doesn't really happen. So it feels like you spend so much energy looking at things that never happen. That's like 95% of chess. And I can understand that they get exhausted after playing 11 rounds like this, and he's already played blindfold chess earlier in the day. Surely we'll see some big mistakes towards the end here.
Exactly. Hikaru had one off round earlier today, but can he avoid that happening again? You're right. More like chess, it's like an ocean. Like there's so much beneath the surface that you just barely see. And Hikaru does look frustrated at himself for being a minute down. That's very rare, a very rare sight. He's pushed his pawns. Black is blocked. The center is very tense. Loads of options for both sides to block, to open things up. But being down on time is something Hikaru hates. So, okay, we see some exchanges.
Magnus is doing way better in his game, according to our little live update at the top of the screen. So the pressure is on some of these other players who also have 6 points here.
It's very interesting talking about Magnus, that he wins as much as he actually does. Because, I mean, surely Magnus has proven that he's the favorite in these tournaments, but if we compare Magnus against the rest of the field, I mean, he should be massively disadvantaged. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how many percentage I would give him, but I don't know. The rest of the field should win way more tournaments than Magnus.
Yeah, he's won 7 out of the 16 Title Tuesdays that he's participated in after they changed the format, almost half.
That's crazy.
Especially given how rarely, like Hikaru hasn't won in a very long time, it feels like. I think he's only won once or twice. Yeah. And he's almost at the same level. So
exactly. And I don't think in this split even, it's been a long, long time since Hikaru won. Alireza Firouzja's only won 1. There have been multiple players to win 1. I think statistically that's always going to be the case. But to do what Magnus does, to win it so many times. I mean, this is a fascinating position in the meantime, with Hikaru kind of banking everything on a later kingside attack. He's kind of just given the b file to black. The white pieces are all a bit stuck. But Okay, here we go, an exchange, and at least the white knight now gets a beautiful outpost in the center.
Why do you want to give away this beautiful bishop that had the long diagonal? I don't understand this whatsoever. For from Black's perspective.
Black had a bishop here, white had a bishop on d1.
Yeah.
Comparison is exactly as you say, like positionally. I think there's an urge to do something in blitz
that,
chess.
of course, but I go here maybe.
So even though the
Still 92 if queen
evaluation
d7.
bar says the white is better, this is really tricky still. I mean, if the white king is really in the open, but right now it's more or less secured. This can turn quickly though.
Yeah.
So I go bishop d2.
Black wants to come in.
Say hello.
Yeah. He says, okay, you're welcome to trade off.
See what he does here.
Okay.
So if you get an endgame now, queen b1, trading off the queens, I think Black should be doing very well, right? Okay, the knight was
I
hanging.
can play
but-
queen g2. I gotta move. I'm too slow though again.
I'm too slow.
Yeah, it's what we saw
Now?
earlier today.
Queen b1,
Queen
queen
b1.
b3, maybe better.
Queen b1 was even stronger there, apparently. But I just think the fact that he had media obligations today, he played that blindfold game with Magnus, has slowed him down.
And now queen b1. Funny.
And pressure incoming.
Yeah, exactly.
40 seconds up for Pranav. 50
No
seconds.
attack. This rook on a2 is just standing there protecting the file.
Yeah, Hikaru needed to keep more ammunition on the board to go for the black king, but he just never got his attack started. And now it's very well inside of traffic.
Yeah, Hikaru is in big trouble here.
Just needs to survive, but always losing a pawn at the very least.
Then you
Two
give up
maybe.
the
Maybe I
b
don't.
file though.
Maybe then the white takes the b file, black will take the pawn. Calculation needed, doesn't go for it.
I've got to do something fast now though.
Oh, he's aware of it.
Again, why am I so slow?
Here?
Listen to the way he's using the mouse right now. He is very frustrated with his...
Yeah, I'm just too slow every game. I don't know why I'm so slow, but I'm just too slow.
Knight b4.
Yeah, knight b4, knight rider.
Yeah.
Come in.
Ghost Rider, David.
Ghost rider. Magnus was seeing ghost earlier. I can't even remember what a ghost is.
I don't know what I'm even doing.
Bishop d8.
Blundering is what I'm doing, actually. That's what I'm doing.
Oh,
Takes some d3.
that looks like a pawn. That looks like a pawn. It is edible. Of course, black can just keep pushing as well. Rook b2 incoming.
Blundering is what I'm
Disaster.
Just can barely move a piece. Hikaru defends his d3 pawn. But just pushing the rook forward. Check. Getting out of the way of the pawn is going to be enough.
Push, push.
Push, push, push.
Yeah, this is so easily won. Rook h1.
Yeah, rook anywhere on the first rank now. And he's going to be making a new queen. Rook g1, very similar.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Queen.
Taking his time, though, Pranav. It's evened out quite a bit on the clocks. He's respecting his opponent. He's...
Yeah, I'm just blundering. I'm just too slow.
Can also take on b4. If the white rook takes, there's a check with a skewer. The white knight's going to jump in the way, but will get hit. And the king of pawn endgame is going to lose for white.
The b pawn.
Here we go, transition.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just too slow. I mean, every
Black
game
king
I'm
is
too
in time.
slow.
Yeah, right.
I'm just too slow for no reason. I was fine in that game too, but I'm too slow. I don't know why I'm so slow today, but I've got no rhythm. I was also completely fine around here.
Oh, wow. Well, it's an annoyed Hikaru Nakamura who's saying that he's way too slow. And the clock certainly had a part in that game. And that means that Hikaru, he's going to have 6 out of 8 points going into like the final little third of the tournament. And look how even it is. So many players, 9 players at the moment with 7 points. Nobody has a perfect score anymore. It's gotten really close. Anybody have any bets on who's going to win this? You and Christian?
Well, I'm sticking to my guy Magnus, of course. No, I mean in this such an open field, it could be anyone really, but Magnus has proven to be the strongest over many tournaments. So yeah.
Would you take Magnus over the field now?
Well.
Oh,
no,
good one.
No,
So
I wouldn't. But if I got a good bet on it, then probably I would.
Okay, so still under 50% chance maybe that Magnus wins the tournament.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it feels like maybe the group on 6.5 have a chance if they win their last 3 rounds, but Hikaru now probably out of it. we tend to see every week. 9.5 is the winning score, more often than not. So it's just that final sprint after this last break that will decide everything.
Yeah, the players are going to have a short break once again, and we are going to sum up the action before the last 3 rounds of this game week.
Here we go.
All right, and we can see that there are so many players that are doing very well. It's a really open tournament, and when there are more than 300 participants, you really got to have enough points. David, do you have any prediction of how many points you'll need to win this week's Title Tuesday?
10 wins it, that's for sure now, but 9.5, I think. I think maybe we see 2 players in 9.5, and the player with the better tiebreak, which tends to be whoever's been leading from the start. Magnus among them, Wesley so as well. I'll say Magnus or Wesley, 9.5.
Do you know how often there has been tie breaks on the winning score?
It tends to be quite a lot. It tends to be probably just under half of the time. If there's not a runaway winner, then tie breaks tends to settle everything. And often that changes. We've seen it multiple times change last minute just to due to a former opponent having scored in the last round. It's brutal. It's tiny margins at this top level.
I was also thinking about, we looked at the country score, but have we looked at the naming score?
That one we don't have.
Is Pranav or Svane leading the naming score?
Oh, good question.
The names, I guess. What other names could be good? Sam? Is there several? There are some Sams. If Sam Shankland is playing.
David Navarre is playing.
Oh, the Davids are good. The Davids
are good. Where's Paravian? Where's David Anton?
All right. And while we are waiting for the next round to start, I thought I would mention to you guys some of the stuff that the Take group here, the offices where we're sitting, what they're working on. Or maybe you can explain a little bit of it, David.
I can indeed. And for everyone at home who's probably been watching, or hopefully been watching since the start, you might have seen a barcode, QR code just below us. That is because you can join something very special, very new, and it's something that will hopefully appeal to everyone. It's a new app that's incoming. We teased the social side earlier, Maud, where Magnus is getting involved, where you can share your brilliant moves, your blunders with your friends. You can tease them, roast them, anything you want. And it's coming very shortly. You can join the waitlist, and you can be one of the first.
And I have opened the app now on my phone. And what I think is kind of fun is that here we can see when people have been playing. So David, you were playing 23 hours ago.
Guilty.
Mats, the CEO of Take, he was playing 2 hours ago during the workday. So that can be interesting for anyone to note. And he was playing some Bullet, apparently. But what I thought was very fun the other day, because I did join this app very recently, was that on my profile, I can see all of my activity. And I was playing a game on the subway. And it was kind of stressful because playing Bullet on the subway when you're losing internet connection, and I had to at some point get off the subway, and it was snowing, and it was not a good time to be doing that. So I called this, I named this game, where I did end up winning quite a lot of rating points because I hadn't played Bullet in a while. And I did play the two minutes and an extra second because I couldn't play normal Bullet. That was just too irresponsible. And I got this achievement where I got a fork on so many pieces, and I actually got this achievement that I was very happy about. But the notification that was amazing to get was the fact that none other than Magnus Carlsen had commented on my game, and I was so proud that it was a game I won, thank God, where I did manage to fork all of these pieces at the same time, including the king. So that's fun. I'm going to like his comment. And you can see what other players are up to. And it's fun to see how many minutes in a week you've been playing. Actually, I don't usually play that much online anymore. But now I can see, okay, I've played an hour this week. And David, you've played a lot of hours.
Yeah, I don't want to show how many hours I've been playing this week. I remember the days when young Christian used to watch me play all night long, 18-hour streaks. But yeah, it's just a lot of fun. You can see who's active as well. You can go and follow Magnus, for example. Anytime he's online playing, you'll get notified. You can follow his over-the-board chess, his online chess, everything. So.
And I thought it was very fun that he, this was against Misha Nick, but he played, this is the game he played against Pranav. Oh, maybe he won this one. But it's interesting to see like the top players are just playing blitz and bullet games randomly against each other in like the middle of the night. So I thought that was very fun. And you can download, or you can scan the QR code, and then you can follow Magnus and hope he sees your game like he saw my game.
Exactly. Being followed by Magnus Carlsen, that's quite something. And not just the social side, of course. People can study their games. There is a coach on there. You can learn a lot, achieve all of those special badges. Family Forker there, for example, Maud. And the QR code below, link above for anyone at home.
All right, and let's take a look at some of the action that we've had so far in this Title Tuesday, because this was Magnus kind of losing his mind a little bit.
Yeah, this was dramatic stuff. Magnus was dead lost. And here, if the white knight had retreated back to e2, it would have been Magnus on the brink of defeat. But things turned around so quickly. First, a slightly strange knight move from Vokudov, placing the knight on a nice square, but not really doing much. And then a terminal blunder, a shocker here from Vokudov, who was actually up on time. He ended up moving his queen forward, but after the black bishop took the white knight on b6, he'd won a piece. The white queen is undefended. The queen's staring at each other. The black bishop defends its queen, and realization from Vokudov. Magnus called it a gift, and he kept his 100% score at this time. Thanks.
If I'm going to receive gifts like this, then I certainly have a chance in this tournament.
All right, and let's see if Magnus is going to get any more gifts now that there are only 3 rounds remaining, and round 9 has already started. And we jump into Magnus's game against Jeffrey Zhang, looking like a very threatening, dark opponent right now.
He's the real Ghost Rider. You can barely see him.
Yes. He's also playing black, so yeah. Feels like it's the correct lightning.
Exactly. Chess players, maybe not the best with their cameras in general, but I know the feeling. I play a lot of blitz bullet in the dark. In the meantime, we saw the Reti opening. We jump in a bit later, but white knight came out to f3 on move 1, something Magnus did also against Hikaru earlier today in that blindfold game, and it made its whole way across the board. It's kind of a reverse Grunfeld setup white's gone for, and now I'm expecting Magnus to start challenging the head of black's pawn chain. Slightly better for white. Okay, he brings his knight out first. He's going after the bishop pair, also very logical.
Oh, it looks so sunny and nice where Jeffrey Zhang is located. Wish I was there instead of in snowy Oslo.
Yeah, and Magnus also having left the last time he was in the studio, he just looked at me and David and was like, I can't bear the darkness and the cold. He even got Faustino to agree with him and say, yeah, it's terrible. I don't like the snow. And then the both of them left for Spain and never came back.
Yeah.
Never to be seen again.
Chilling out in Barcelona. What a life. And okay, we see some action now. F4 from Magnus. Will he take a pawn in the center, break up black's pawn chain there? Will he advance and go for some kind of pawn storm on the black king? He does take, but Jeffrey Zhang now apparently better, because at some point the black knight will capture it in the center, or maybe even jump into e3. And white's pawn structure isn't the best any longer.
Very tricky position suddenly. Very uneven. I don't know. Can you go like g5? Is that crazy to suggest?
I knew you'd suggest that. I knew it.
Yeah.
I think it's a very aggressive move, but it's also quite a positionally well-founded one. If the white bishop ever retreats, it's just bad, and the black knight can then safely take on e5. He does play it. The question now is whether Magnus has any tactics to keep his bishop on this square for a bit longer, or whether he has to just slide back. And the black knight on e5.
What tactics are you thinking of? H3?
H3, bishop h3, something h3.
Uh-huh.
Ooh.
Oh.
Why did he take with that knight? He wants to keep the other one to come into e3. It's getting sharp now.
I'm going to go c3.
Magnus wants to push his pawn. c3.
At least now with knight e3, I get a good square for the knight after trading.
Magnus wants the d4 square for his knight as a nice outpost. He wants his bishop on this diagonal, of course. There we go. On this diagonal, but he will be forced to exchange. And the question is whether black's e3 pawn can survive. Magnus might just be a pawn up. in the near future, if he can pick that one off. Black's king. I don't like the king.
Yeah, because where is that king going to go? Is it just doomed to be in an eternal, terrible position the rest of the game?
Seems so.
Oh, but he does castle, even though the pawn in front of the king is far away.
Queen h5.
Yeah, let's go. Queen h5.
Oh.
No.
Keeps it in reserve. Maybe the queen would have been kicked around a little bit.
Yeah, probably.
He wants the pawn. That's a easy target. Low-hanging fruit there. Hard to keep that one intact now.
Yeah, so we can try like knight c4 maybe, but after b3, I'm not sure if we have any follow-up as black.
Queen might be quite exposed.
Ooh, Magnus's queen. Maybe he's talking about going to h5. Bit exposed.
Yeah, because we only heard a little part of that, but...
b5.
Wow.
Aiming at b4, perhaps?
G1, I suppose.
He wants to undermine the knight in the center. I wouldn't hate...
It's giving up another pawn, though. Okay, Magnus respects it. Interesting.
Yeah, I was going to say I wouldn't hate playing a3, but now maybe the knight is a bit more stable on c4.
Yes.
Possibly that's the idea for Jeffrey Zhang, but nice safety first move from Magnus. It was worth noting, Black could have actually grabbed a pawn on a2 as well and might have got away with it, but that's the type of thing you never do, especially in blitz chess, because the bishop might have been caught on the a2 square earlier. But
Yeah, I didn't even see that pawn was hanging. That's such a blind spot.
Yeah.
But these pawns are so tricky to take. It's like the classic Fischer blunder where he took the pawn on h2. No, a2.
h2.
h2, yeah. And got trapped.
Exactly. Game 1 of the 1972 World Championship match.
Strange game.
Yeah. Ever since that, nobody ever dares take an h2 or a2 unless you can guarantee you get out.
Everyone collectively agreed we don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Exactly. That went viral long before the days of the internet. So rook d8. Okay, there's a pin here. There's a pin on this diagonal. How does Magnus relieve the pressure? The black knight might come back in the near future.
Maybe rook d3 then?
Just to defend everything.
Yeah.
Magnus still has an extra pawn, and Zhang has these double pawns, so Magnus is better according to the evaluation bar at the top of the screen. But I'm looking at the clocks, really. It seems like that's his best bet at the moment.
Yeah, Jeffrey needs to play for tricks
Yeah,
now.
right.
b4.
Does he want bishop
Is that a
g4?
trick?
Does he want knight g4?
That's very tricky. After a
I
capture,
don't
Magnus is...
see it. This is also, by the way.
Magnus don't want to calculate.
Who does?
No, but he has to.
f6.
Right now, he really has to calculate because this is getting
I
tricky.
think this is reasonable. I don't see why this is a blunder.
Yeah.
Oh, does he want? No.
Is he just going to take? There we go. 2 pawns up.
Okay, so take on
I mean,
a1
bishop
and then...
b3, queen
No.
g1, bishop g4, queen g1, knight
looking at these
g4,
He's calculating after making his
rook
move.
e2.
Move first, think later. Great book by
All of
Billy
those
Hendricks.
seem fine.
Ooh, knight g4.
There's bishop c4, but that doesn't do a whole lot. He gets knight e3 later on, but
Bishop c4, queen h6?
just-
No, it doesn't do much.
gives me favorable trades, I think.
Yeah, that's quite a cool idea, getting the queen across, but white will just push his pawn.
Yeah.
Maybe
Save
there's rook
everything.
f3 too. I don't know. This seems kind of simpler.
Okay, Magnus going for some things that he thinks are simpler to avoid calculation, but he has more than a minute extra now on the clock.
Oh,
Ooh, Jeffrey's going all in. He sacrificed the exchange, a rook for a knight. There are some threats. Smothered mate idea potential, but all covered now by Magnus. No more checks. He is up. Rook for knight, and he's got an extra pawn.
this is way too desperate. I mean, I understand Jeffrey because he was also losing on time, or time-wise he's clearly worse, so he wanted to do something drastic, but this shouldn't be enough.
Yeah, white's bishop keeps everything covered, nice and safe. Queen's coming off would spell the end. Magnus just needs to activate somehow. And yeah, find that winning plan. Maybe if he can improve his rook. I don't think he wants to jump in and offer the queen trade yet while the black queen can still come in.
Oh, but he does.
Queen d2.
Does.
Yeah.
He's
It's a good
calculated
try,
this.
but doesn't work. K2.
There we go.
And queen f2.
Beautiful
Okay.
tactics.
Good game. I think.
Ah.
I don't know if everything was correct, but it felt to me as though my mind was working reasonably well. Oh, he should not take, yeah? Yeah.
All right, so this is the first time today. It's in the 9th round of the tournament that Magnus finally says, my mind is working. And we jump into this game between two others that are in the lead with 7 points at the moment, but they'll need to get a whole point if they want to catch up to Magnus. But it looks like there's going for a draw back and forth here.
Yeah, it's a draw.
It's a draw. He didn't want to play on Alexei Serrano despite having the queen because he was facing 2 rooks and a knight. And if the checks ever dried up, he would have been material down. We jump into another game. Nihal Serene looks totally winning here, partly because of his extra pawn, but also hard to defend f6 without allowing any forks. h5 also a weakness. And okay, black's going round, but this square's covered. The black knight is so bad. He can start advancing his king, his pawn. He's going to get the win here. Black's
Easy
king's
win.
so bad.
Easy win.
Yeah, easy. 30 seconds should be enough, we think.
Yeah.
Especially for Nihal.
Yeah, he's very good at very quick computer chess, but so is Pranav, one of the Pranavs. We saw that Magnus had played against a Pranav in the Take app, but it looks
Who decides on this profile picture?
I think it's himself.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's the chess.com profile picture,
Wow.
I believe. And
What's your profile picture, David?
I'm very vain. It's just a picture of me playing chess.
Too boring, yeah.
Very boring. And okay, Nihal frowning. He doesn't want to allow any stalemates. 11 seconds. He doesn't want to show how to checkmate with bishop and knight versus king either.
Understandable.
So he's just going to push his pawn forward now and get the checkmate. There we go. Resignation from Pranav. Checkmate was incoming with the new queen. Nice technique. Smooth.
And that means that Nihal has caught up to Magnus and will also have 8 points. And we can also see on the standings that Wesley So has won his game against Sam Sevian. So that means that he also is the third and final leader. But this whole group of people at 7.5 points, loads of people at 7. It's very close this week, I would say. It's really a lot of different people's game. It's going to be exciting with 2 rounds left.
Oh, Magnus against Nihal, I think, almost a forced pairing.
Yeah.
It's not going to be easy. Nihal is so speedy. Magnus cannot get into a flagging battle against him. Nihal's been very impressive today.
Good call.
Oh, yes. I'm good with the pairings.
Yeah, you are.
Shout out to Hammer. Okay.
And Wesley So playing as Denis Lazovic, so that's also a tough matchup where it will be very important for Denis to try to win that game and catch up to the leaders. But we are going to have our focus on the top guys at the moment, and Magnus in a smiley, good mood, it seems.
And Nihal is a bit of a crowd favorite. He starts with the accelerated London system, bringing the bishop out to f4 first, and now maybe a Jabava London system. Magnus is going to play e6. He did that against Gukesh in the World Cup in 2023, defeated him there. Okay, and e4, he's going to offer a French in the near future with a quick d5. a6 is guarded against the knight coming forward. This is fascinating. I wonder whether this is prep from Nihal, because Magnus won that game against Gukesh with black very convincingly, and pawn sacrifice. I believe this is going the exact same way as that game from a few years ago. Magnus, he does this against the younger Indian players.
Yeah, because he remembers that game.
A3 and then...
Yeah, here we hear it.
Bishop takes c3, queen takes c3, and d takes e4. And unless Nihal has some incredible novelty up his sleeve here, then black is doing relatively all right.
So just as you said, David, he remembers that game, and he's still in that game, and actually it's Nihal now who's doing something else.
Well, actually, this is how the game continued, I believe. The queen took the pawn, and now Magnus offered the queen trade. There we go. Queens came off, and as Magnus likes to do, he ground down Gukesh in an endgame. That was a few years ago, of course, before Gukesh was world champion. But
such an interesting position, and suddenly it just fizzles out into a relatively boring endgame-ish position. But
and we could see also Nihal's reaction there when he was like, "Ugh, we're trading the queens, huh?"
You don't beat Magnus often in these types of positions. You need to catch him unawares. You need to attack him.
Yeah.
And like you said, Jon Christian, like it's so frustrating sometimes, especially with white and the kind of top level of chess these days, opening preparation, it's so hard to keep the game spicy.
Yeah, because the position looks so spicy after just a couple of moves, like 7-8 moves in, and then you get this more or less boring position. But I mean, looks like Magnus is doing fantastic here. He has such an advantage in development, which is going to be crucial, I believe. Yeah, exactly. As you point out, take on e4 with the bishop, double threat, maybe pawn up.
Yeah, the rook's fantastic.
Yeah.
And do you think this is what sets Magnus apart a little bit? Like, he can freestyle, he can play any opening, but also his memory is so good. Like, he'll remember a game from a few years ago. He knows everything about every opening. Nihal, maybe not aware, even though that was a really famous game. That was shown to be very good for black, this whole opening, and Nihal's just walked straight into it.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I mean, memory is so important in chess. You have to be able to remember your preps, remember openings that have been played. What is going on here exactly, by the way? Bishop f6.
And then at the very least, like an
king d1.
Taking on.
You take
two,
just like... but king takes and rook c2. Yeah, this is dumb.
This rook takes g2
okay,
at
so
the
he
end.
goes into it.
Oh my gosh.
Rook takes g2 immediately.
Exactly.
Oh.
And once he takes...
Rook g2 immediately?
Oh, rook takes g2. That rook in the corner is trapped.
No, but king e3? What's going on there?
So suspicious. What he's doing.
I mean, the pawn on a6 is also hanging. This
not
is really
like
tricky.
sus in that way. I just like...
Oh.
Just don't believe this can work.
Magnus thinks he's winning.
Yeah, but he has to be precise here, I believe.
He has to calculate.
He's not suspicious in any way that you guys might think. Just
Disclaimer from Magnus.
Yeah.
He has to choose his words wisely.
What do you do here, David? What do you play?
I'll turn on the computer.
Yeah, that's not allowed. You're getting banned.
I didn't even see rook takes g2, so I would have played rook takes c2 in a heartbeat. I didn't see the other one. I was actually thinking you should take this way with the rook, but the computer points out something even better. Apparently, rook takes pawn, king to e3, and I don't think it's going to happen. Rook to g6 in that position.
Hardly by any
really?
means.
Rook g6 here now is apparently the best move.
Magnus spent a lot of time now.
Okay, but now it's not so clear.
So the material count, he has a rook and 2 pawns for the bishop and knight, but it's a strong bishop, especially if the white rook can join. Magnus has to be quick.
Yeah, because the king is more or less safe, and the rooks are kind of stuck right now. Like rook f2 maybe, but then king...
I think we're just going to sack the exchange.
Really?
Ooh.
Okay, so maybe you can pick up the a-pawn as well, but I mean, you can't hold on to all your black pawns.
Magnus, his job will be to eliminate the white a-pawn, maybe the white h-pawn, to force a draw later. Nihal not going for it immediately. Maybe tempted to go for some checkmating ideas against the black king.
Really?
And look at the time. I mean, Magnus has spent a lot more time.
a2, rook c7, rook f2.
But
what's his
okay, so king d7 potentially.
King d7, there's some knight checks in the air.
Oh no.
Ooh, the big question is whether Nihal can do a checkmate now.
Rook c8, I start escaping.
But there's no mate.
95.
Like 95 you can take it, right? And then...
Or this rook and then rook d5. Like
95, black can also give some checks.
Fine.
Magnus lower on time, also a factor to count in.
Yeah.
Oh, and mistake from Nihal. Big mistake here. There's no threats for white.
Then rook f1, no?
But Magnus doesn't seem very secure in what's going on.
Oh, the bar drops.
He seems very unsure, Magnus.
Giving a check would have been stronger in that position. But he is threatening rook takes a3 with a skewer. Can Nihal force a draw? I think white's only playing for a draw here.
What do you do with white, though? I don't find any moves.
So complicated.
This is so
okay, so maybe rook e7 followed by going back to c7 or something?
Why do I have to go and mix?
Rook here. And then
This
rook
position's
back.
so complicated.
No, then this rook is 3, right? No.
Magnus quoting some lyrics there.
Another song.
Why'd you have to go and make things so complicated?
Nice, David. More.
We were talking about the fact that you were going to sing in the studio. We finally got it.
Got your wish.
Oh, but look at his reactions.
Niels, you're spending a lot of time right now.
He knows it's important, but he doesn't have time. He has 1 minute left on the clock, and he's sitting with his head in his hands like this, as if he's playing a classical game.
There's no choice. You have to give a check. It's just a question of which one, like checking from which angle. It feels so unnatural to go back.
A ton of time.
Really?
He's spending a ton of time.
Can you
Even
take an
Magnus.
H2?
Yeah.
Probably crazy.
Take just to get pieces off the board.
I don't know.
Rook to f2 looks tempting as well. The white king is going to have to, there we go, march up the board. Just to keep the knight defended on the 3rd rank.
Probably king e4.
Yeah, king e4 would make a lot of sense. One of these two moves forced. Nihal still tanking.
Why though?
Just have to make a move.
Yeah.
It's got to be one of those king moves, no choice.
It's very tense.
This is very tense.
Okay, check from
King
Magnus.
f4, then I can go
Take on
king
h2?
d7 over here.
No.
Ooh, he wants to get out of the mates.
Yeah, makes sense.
There was the idea of rook to d3 and rook to d8 mate, so now the black king is free to run.
e5 should
Well,
be possible. e4, king e6,
Kind of.
Kind of.
4, or
If there were some checks, the king would have run in certain positions.
it's not that clear actually.
Oh, Magnus is thinking.
Yeah, and he has only a minute left. This could become a very interesting time scramble.
Let's go for it.
Let's go for it, he says, and starts pushing his pawn in the center of the board.
He wants some space for his king.
It's a bit too safe.
He's going to run into the center.
I regret that a little bit.
Check. He's going to continue running. Which way? Ooh, Magnus says he's playing it a bit safe. If he takes this knight now...
This is too safe.
Oh,
Too
can he
safe.
flag Nihal? Flagging Nihal is so difficult. He's so fast.
But he has 30 more seconds than him. He must have enough confidence in that situation.
Ooh.
Check on a2?
Oh, check on a2.
Check.
The white knight's going to come back and block. There was a hit on the rook in the corner. And now we see Magnus. Can he win it? He got the rooks off the board. He can play this on forever.
Yeah.
15 seconds. Should be enough now for Magnus to win on the board and the clock. He gets another pawn.
e5.
Oh, that looks strong.
Oh,
Ooh, he's going for the other pawn. Now e5. Magnus is closing in for the kill.
Here, h5.
Knight and
e4.
but he has to keep up his tempo because
Play. Come on.
move. Gotta move.
Should be enough.
Bishop and knight struggle to coordinate together without a rook.
Oh, there's a fork. Okay.
there are forks all over the place. Nihal has not given up yet.
Nope.
He defends
has
really
turned
well,
on the
and he's
turbo.
really fast, so
He defends well
it's
and he
not a
plays really
foregone
fast.
conclusion by any means.
Here's the trousers. It's the two pawns, the trouser legs here. Can't stop both of them. There we go. A new queen is born. The knight was hanging, but Magnus is just playing for time now.
Didn't see that.
Totally winning position. The queen and king.
1 second left for Nihal, but he's only
getting
spending
checkmated.
milliseconds.
Okay.
But Magnus actually managed to checkmate him on time.
Okay. Good stuff. Tough game.
Wow. That was a really classy game for
Very,
both players.
very tactical, unclear.
All right, so Magnus heading into the final round with 9 points alone, it seems, and we already have the final round pairings, and it's Denis Lazovic who has 8.5. He has to win against Magnus. If he does, he will win the tournament. And if Magnus draws, he'll have to be dependent on tie breaks, which is always risky. So, Jon Christian, what do you think Magnus is going for in this game?
Maybe we'll play the. It's Lazovic plays Sicilian, right? So
And e5.
and e5.
Mostly
okay, yeah,
E5.
okay, e5. I was about to suggest the Alapin, but
Oh, he's going to go for the 4 knights. He normally plays this if he wants to play with the safety break on.
yeah.
This is known to be a very equalish type of middle game that we're about to see, but one where white runs minimal risks. He has used this, though, to defeat the likes of Hans Niemann, Magnus, and especially because Lazovic might feel he needs to press for a win.
Yeah.
If black is too ambitious, it could backfire. Magnus likes to play the move bishop out to g5 in this position. First, bishop f4.
strikes me how strong these players are. It's like playing, even though they only have 5 minutes for the entire game. It's the quality of the games are higher than my classical games. It's like it's amazing to watch. I believe. I think it's really it's really impressive. The last game as well. Yeah, well, that was really something.
Yeah, that's one of the highest quality blitz games I've seen in ages from both sides.
Yep.
Like Magnus wasn't playing great at the start of the day, but then he's leveled up, and Nihal fought so well, so hard. Some cool tactics as well in the previous game. But okay, here we are. Magnus on the brink of winning the tournament. He knows his fate is in his own hands, and he's doing the right thing. Just keep it simple, keep it safe. All the pieces centralized. Not too much risk here for white.
But then it's scary to play against a younger, hungry player like Lazovic, who knows that he really needs to win to be able to get a victory in the entire tournament. So he's playing as a really motivated, young, very fast player. And the two of them will be facing off later in a couple of weeks in the Speed Chess Championships, semifinals and perhaps finals. So that's going to be interesting. And they've played against each other a lot in online chess.
Yeah, and especially in the autumn split of Tidal Tuesday, so a few months ago, Denis Lazovic had a good score against Magnus, defeated him in some big games. But this isn't the type of position where you're too hopeful against Magnus. It's an endgame, very strategic. He's trying to give Denis an isolated pawn here in the center.
Is Magnus guaranteed, though, to win a tournament if he draws this game?
No, I think it depends on his... No, if he wins, he's the only one with 10.
If he wins, yeah.
But if he draws, then he could be caught up, and then it will be the tiebreaks that determine it. And players that you've played in the first round, they do have a tendency to leave the tournament as it progresses because they're not doing so well. And at some point, you get tired of losing a lot of games in a row. So at the end of the Tidal Tuesday tournaments, we might have started with 300 players, and we might be down to like 200 something. And then it becomes a kind of a question of a bit of luck. And I'm not sure Magnus wants to be dependent on the tiebreaks, but it seems also like he's pretty happy with a very equal endgame here.
Is Magnus aware of the tiebreak situation, do you think, or is he just...
You can see it when you play these tournaments on the chess.com browser, like the live tiebreaks.
Yeah.
So, or at least before this round, he'll have seen that Denis Lazovic, from the score group below Magnus, half a point behind, has the best tiebreak. So by drawing this game, he would rule Denis out, of course. He'd be half a point ahead. And if Denis's tiebreak's higher than everyone else, then good chances. We'll keep an eye, though, on Alexei Serrano, who's the only other player who could catch up Magnus if this game is a draw. So far, it looks very, very balanced. Black with an isolated pawn, but very active pieces.
Magnus seems to have a small edge, though. Like the d-pawn is isolated, semi-weak. Now maybe bishop f5. Trying to get the square for his knight, perhaps?
Oh, I like that one. Yeah, and if the white knight ever gets to f5 without being traded off, h6 is always a backward pawn.
Yeah.
Bishop f5 is nice.
It strikes me that the Magnus is able... He has the ability to just play equal position or equal openings, but still, even though the position is very, very equal, he manages to still put on some pressure and, very often win. I remember vividly the game that you mentioned against Hans Niemann, where he had very... the position was so equal, but still... Because the game just continues, and suddenly, he gets something, and then he gets something more, and then suddenly he just wins out of the blue because he has understood something.
I asked him after that game, like, were you playing for a draw? And then he didn't really want to say that he was, because he was just like, no, I was just trying to keep the game alive for a very long time. And I guess against the difficulty here against Denis Lazovic is that he's so fast. So if Magnus prolongs this game, he might find himself in time trouble because Denis has been leading by at least half a minute for the majority of the game so far.
Yeah, that's the one thing that has given Denis a boost in his head-to-head against Magnus in the past is the clock. I've seen many time scrambles between these two, and Denis is a bit faster, maybe a bit more confident.
Now I like Denis's position. Rook h3, perhaps, trying to create some threats.
It feels like he's lost control, Magnus.
King d6, bit passive, no?
Doesn't change the evaluation, really. It's all level, but yeah, could have been creating some threats there, Dennis. And maybe now he'll go with his rook. Different direction, though. He gives a check. But this is less effective. Now the black king doesn't put pressure on the white knight. I think he's just saying to Magnus, you can't improve. Maybe he'll play around a bit. Magnus would love a repetition right now, and Dennis is allowing it.
Oh.
Will Magnus go for a repetition now if he puts his king back on e3? That should be the third time. Magnus is counting. Oh, he plays on.
Wow.
Magnus didn't want the draw.
But he's not saying much, Magnus. He's very concentrated.
Yeah.
Very focused. Just an update that Alexei Serrana is in an equal position on board 2 against Wesley So. He's the only other player who can reach the magical 9.5 number that Magnus will get to with a draw. So maybe Magnus took a look at the other game. He was like, nah, 2 equal. Don't want to risk it.
It's a bit risky, though. I mean, Magnus is down
Time-wise,
time
I'm still
as well.
doing quite all right.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about that yet.
As if he was hearing
Okay,
us.
Magnus, okay.
Too quick, too strong. 1.5 minutes he thinks is enough. He is getting active with his rook.
And the time is evening out a bit. Just 20 more seconds for Lazovic now.
Ooh, the knight blocks. Very important for Denis Lazovic. He's trying to remove white's best piece of the knight so that he can get some of the white pawns. But, okay, this is getting a bit tactical.
Tricky.
Tactics in the air. King goes back. Magnus going pawn hunting. Ultimately, this rook endgame should be a draw. Magnus might emerge with an extra pawn, but...
Will he, though?
Oh, yeah, maybe not.
It's so hard to calculate these things in a good way. There's always another pawn hanging somehow.
This is reminiscent of Magnus last week when he managed to lose an equal rook endgame.
And, Magnus, he's playing this close to the edge. He cannot win any longer. Denis Lazovic has the extra pawn and has the easy plan of pushing forward. It's not great that he's playing against an f-pawn, which is actually quite a good one to have, especially if the white g-pawn's ever lost.
Oh, this is not good at all.
This is not good for Magnus. He should have bailed out with that threefold repetition. He lost control and is panicking on the clock.
Dennis is winning this, I believe.
I think this is great winning chances. It's still a theoretical draw if Magnus puts
Okay,
his
so
king back
king
on
g2,
e2.
king h2. Maybe this is simple.
If Denis Lazovic locks in his rook, it is simple now with the king going back, not allowing any checks. The white rook will protect its pawn if need be. If the black king ever comes over to the other side of the board, there will be some checks from behind. Oh, Magnus is not enjoying this, though. Pure suffering.
Yeah, you can see it in his face.
Oof.
Very concentrated. Not talking a lot.
Yeah, you can repeat the position. He just has to make sure he doesn't lose the g-pawn. That would be a lost endgame if the g-pawn disappears. Now he's getting ready to check the black king from behind, which has no safe squares, cannot hide amongst its pawn, its rooks. Magnus goes back, keeping the black rook under lock and key. This is really instructive. It is a drawn endgame. Magnus just has enough waiting moves with his king.
Dennis can play on time, though.
Yeah, but it's evened out, actually. Magnus has been doing a good job of playing quick moves. Oh, and Dennis actually sacrificed his pawn there, but got a hold of Magnus's one. There's just one pawn left on the board.
This is the famous Philidor position. For anyone who wants to learn about rook endgames, this is vital. Cutting across the board. If the black pawn ever moves, the white rook goes behind with some checks. This is a dead draw, but is Magnus quick enough to hold on? Can Denis Lazovic win on time? Neither of them are thinking about the draw. This is... Oh, Magnus can now take the rooks. He should have enough time with 20 seconds left to hold this. Quite easy. As long as you put your king on the right square there. There we go. The rook trade's going to save him. We're going to see a draw, and Magnus gets to 9.5. That means only Alexei Serrana can catch him.
And we need to hop into that game, but it's been a draw as well.
Just as we jumped in, the players were repeating moves with the rook going back and forth, g3, h3. Magnus is the winner.
Magnus is the winner, and Serrana there with 11 seconds in a very difficult situation. Looks like he's looking at the scoreboard and was annoyed in this moment for realizing, if I had just gotten the victory, but too little time in a very equal position. And we see now that Magnus, the only one with 9.5 points, the tie breaks aren't going to determine it. Let's hear what Magnus says. Okay. Well, we don't need to hear him. Let's just watch his celebration. Doesn't look like it's the biggest victory he's ever experienced, but I think Magnus, he started to get more happy with his play around round 9 when he said, finally, my mind is working again.
Exactly. It's as if he woke up finally. He got to 5 out of 5, mostly through gifts from his opponents and some shaky moments. Then a couple of draws. Yeah, but after that second break, it felt like it was Magnus at his best. And curious that we see a player on 9.5 and only one on 8.5. And a lot of players in between.
And also quite amazing, I would say, that Wesley, after starting the tournament in such a good way, only gets 10th place, which is a single point for the Champions Chess Tour standings. So that's not a lot to take home with you after such a good result, really.
Yeah, no, congratulations to Magnus, who reaches 9.5, as you expected would be the winning score, David. Magnus is such a beast. I mean, even though he's not having his best day, it's more than enough. It's enough.
Yeah.
So no, he's really the guy to beat in this tournament for sure.
Exactly. That's the sign of all great champions, all great sports teams. Like even when struggling, they find a way to get the result. And Magnus didn't have it easy. He came up against some tough opposition, but there we go. He emerges at the top. Where's Hikaru? I don't see him on this first page. Probably ended up on 8 points, maybe just slightly low on the tie breaks. Magnus just Mr. Consistent. How does he keep doing it week after week?
Well, the one thing he hasn't achieved, and that he also mentioned in the interview earlier today with the blindfold chess, was the fact that he hasn't won the Olympiad, like the team country standings. And that was my very smooth transition into seeing what country has done the best. And it was won by the US, but it was very close. India in second place. Poland also very regularly performing very well. Norway, number 9. Haven't had time to look at the other Norwegian players, but there are quite a lot of good players that have been participating here. Jon Christian, I mean, we've had Elham and Håvard Haug. A lot of these guys, they're playing every single week.
Yeah, they are very good at the Blitz, but they haven't gotten into the top elite just yet, at least. But they're still young, so they have some years to improve still, and I believe that they can. Yeah, we have to follow the Norwegians going forward.
Yeah. But we also see that Denis Lazovic, he got second place, and Jeffrey Zhang. It must also be a little bit annoying to be Merzin and some of these other players that are participating all the time to get as many points as second place. But because of tie breaks, you get a lot fewer points in the Champions Chess Tour leaderboard.
Exactly. It can be frustrating. We said it earlier, small margins at the top level. That's why it's consistency. Playing every week helps to kind of boost your chances. And for the likes of Lazovic, Zhang, getting those points here is important, but also playing throughout every week of the winter split, of the spring split that's incoming. For Denis Lazovic, it's going to be fun to see him up against Magnus at the Speed Chess Championship in a couple of weeks. It was a really tight game between them at the end.
And other names that we might notice, this Polish player in 5th place, I haven't seen much to him. I always feel like when I see a Polish flag on the top of the standings, I always assume it's Jan-Krzysztof Duda, but he lost very early on, and I don't know how it ended up with him, but Poland has other good players. Exactly, and there's a very loyal kind of group of Polish players who play every single week. I'm not going to try and pronounce Peklesa's first name, Zbigniew Peklesa, but yeah, I've actually played him many times online. He's very quick, very tricky, so nice to see some surprise packages in the top 10. And what we're waiting for at the moment is hopefully to hear from Denis Lazovic, who got second place here, because Magnus, he is traveling. As we know, he's been in Barcelona. He's been doing this event. He's had a very, very long chess day. So we won't get to hear from him, but he is the winner of the week. And let's hope that we can hear from Denis Lazovic in a couple of moments. And besides that, I mean, other players that we have here, we can now hopefully welcome Denis Lazovic to the broadcast. Can you hear the Take studio, Denis?
Yes, hello.
Hello, and congratulations on second place. You're happy about that, or are you disappointed with the final draw?
Yeah, I'm happy, although during the last game I thought that I even had some chances to win, but overall I'm happy. Yeah, I checked the game, so I've never had a winning position, so I'm happy. Yeah.
And you're playing a lot of these Titled Tuesday events. How important is it for you to secure a victory in the tournament in total? Or are you more prioritizing the standings, the Champions Chess Tour standings, qualifying for the Esports World Cup?
Like one Titled Tuesday is not really important for me, but in general, yeah, it's kind of improved my confidence and give me some motivation if I play good in general, and when I play good in Titled Tuesday or Titled Tuesdays or Titled Thursdays, it's not really important for me, but it's better to play good than to play bad here.
And you have qualified for the Speed Chess Championship semifinal, or the finals that are going to be played in February. Is this a good way to prepare for that final?
Yeah, but before, when Titled Tuesdays has 3+1 control, it will be better. It was better to prepare because I will play with increment. So in general, I try to play blitz with increment. I think it's more useful, but every blitz game kind of help to be in a good shape, and especially I can play against many strong players here. So yeah, it's kind of good preparation for Speed Chess Championship.
All right. Well, congratulations again on second place and securing a lot more points and increasing your probability to get to the Esports World Cup. See you next week on Tuesday again.
Yeah. Thanks so much. Thank you.
All right, so that was second place finisher Denis Lazovic, who is playing a lot of online tournaments. He was talking about the 3+0 Thursday tournaments. I've seen him play some Freestyle Fridays. It's basically the only thing he does is play online tournaments.
Exactly. He pretty much runs his business through through these online events, and so consistent, so successful. Very inspiring, I think, for younger players who just want to play as much chess as possible. It is viable as a career, but yeah, he's very focused. It's so impressive, young Christian.
Yeah, I think somebody has to secure your job, David. So someone has to play these tournaments, of course. So,
exactly.
So you have something to comment on. No, but,
keeping you employed.
Yes, exactly.
Keep going, Dennis. Keep going.
All right, and let's take a look at the Split 2 standings now that we have them updated. Magnus securing another 10 points. That means a lot. And he really establishes himself at the top. And then Sam Sevian, who had equally many points as the second place finisher, Lazovic, he only gets 2 points because of worse tie breaks. And Dennis climbing up, and Hikaru falling down to 7th place now, not securing a single point this week either. This is the second week in a row he doesn't finish among the top 10.
Yeah, he's also had a busy day, just like Magnus. Some travel, they're making their way to Europe for those Speed Chess Championships, but yeah, disappointing from Hikaru. He looked really sharp during the blindfold game, but it's been a long day. And yeah, I guess not all the favorite can triumph every single time.
But I guess Hikaru will be happier to look at the Champions Chess Tour standings overall. That includes both Split 1 and Split 2. In that standings, he will still be number 2 according to my calculations. And as we can see, if you have a little light green in front of your name, that means that you are qualified for the Esports World Cup if we had been finished today. And Lazovic, who is in 4th place here, he also secures more points. He's 1 point away from overtaking Duda.
Oof, it's looking good for him, especially if he can come top 3 as well in the Speed Chess Championship. For players who weren't here this week, the likes of Alireza Firouzja, Vincent Keimer, busy at Vaikanze, good news that they're still just inside that top 7. But it's getting closer. And of course, it's going to get even closer as the weeks tick on.
And we're going to be back here the next Tuesday for more Title Tuesdays. This was Game Week 8, but we have 5 more weeks of this split, and then we're going to have 13 more Tuesdays after that. So this is, we're just getting started. Thank you for being here today with us, Jon Christian.
It's been a pleasure.
And thank you as always, David. We're happy to keep you employed. And we will see you guys next Tuesday for more chess on Title Tuesday.
Oh, just take that rook.
No,
Alan should be
checkmating
taking
him
Black's
now.
rook. Now it's going to be checkmate.
Easy.
Magnus gets it just in time. 2 seconds.
Very easy.
White's best move, apparently, to get a big advantage is to play d5.
Oh,
But
wow. Impossible to find.
impossible. That square is covered literally 4 times. Pawn, pawn, knight, queen.
If he goes king b1, that's a move I'm happy to see, because that means he couldn't find anything, so now I can just like play normal chess, like queen d7. So that's just ridiculous. King a3, queen a4 is just checkmate.
And now we see Magnus. Can he win it? He got the rooks off the board. He can play this on forever.
Yeah.
There we go. A new queen is born. The knight was hanging, but Magnus is just playing for time now.
Magnus actually managed to checkmate him on time.
Okay, tough game.
Here we go.